Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Pleasure.
And welcome.
Hello.
Oh, if I think I'm allowed to say it because I'm the GM, welcome to the dumbass class with these stubborn people that I'm trying to make completely fucking paranoid. I think I'm getting there. Anyways, welcome back to Of Man and Monster, our Dark Heresy campaign, Season 3, which is, as some people in several Discords know, is the culmination of 3 separate campaigns as well, so you know shit's going on. Lovely little picture there, this, of me just hovering my hand over the people. Well done. Shall we introduce ourselves again, or shall we just get into it?
They can figure it out as we go.
Alright.
If someone comes in and asks for an introduction, we can do it then.
Yeah, we can always do so in the Twitch chat, so...
Back to the tour of the Inquisition, I suppose.
Yes, where we last left off, you were all currently just let out of, well, Felicia was doing something else. She was just inspecting the gear of six Death Watch Marines that were just standing guards. The rest of you have just now all been let out of a large meeting room where you were sat with 17 other Inquisitors and the Lord Inquisitor. He has not issued you any further instructions yet. What would you like to do?
Follow the lead of the Inquisitor. It's your show,
So-
Magnus.
Have all the other Inquisitors stood up from the table and are making their way out of the room?
They're also making their way out of the room. You can approach any of the 17 that you... Well, no. Any of the 15 that are coming out.
I would probably gesture for the guys who are with me to follow me. And I would definitely go over to Gregorius and congratulate him.
Magnus, it's good to see you. I heard they make your test slightly personal.
Yes, they definitely wanted to pull my heartstrings just a little.
Yes, well, good job on succeeding. I am proud to say that one of my acolytes has so far surpassed all my expectations.
Well, that's very kind of you, Inquisitor Gregorius. I felt it necessary to congratulate you as well on your ascension to such a highly renowned position.
Yes, I must say, during all my time as a Magister or Interrogator or whatever title our Inquisitor wishes to bestow on my former Inquisitor wished to bestow upon me, I had never suspected I'd actually make it to the rank of Inquisitor myself. It is I am still not entirely certain what to feel about it.
Yes, it's definitely something that has been playing on my mind. What exactly the next steps are.
Yes, what do you think of this Lord Inquisitor Electo? He's, I have done some digging. I've asked around with my former Inquisitor, who apparently is not a member of this conclave. But he has had some records. According to those records, that Electo man is at least 200 years old, but records are sketchy about him.
You don't say. Well, that is rather interesting. I had intended to ask you about, well, if you knew the caliber of, Lord Electo. He's been, well, my limited resources have pulled up absolutely nothing as to the man himself.
Yes, all the previous records that have been pulled up about him that we could find, inquisitorial records is that he was somehow involved with that he is somehow involved with the Ultramarines, and that many of his resources, we are not sure if those of his personally or of his former master before him, were also used during the Second and Third Wars for Armageddon. That's just about everything we could find.
That is rather intriguing. I must say it's quite a lot to take in. Armageddon, you say? Huh.
Yes. Although something in the records is off about that, considering the fact that it half of the time still refers to the planet as Ulanor.
Now that is interesting.
Now, on that, I've actually did find something which is actually also personally considering your expertise on the orcs. This you might find interesting. Apparently, Armageddon used to be called Ulanor, and as far as Imperial records indicate, it is the birthplace of the orcoid species, which is why they constantly try to take it back.
Magnus kind of has a little, like, shiver at the thought of, ugh, those Xenos filth being so. Yeah, that would explain why they're so avarice for the planet itself.
Yes, the last two major assaults against the planet were comparable to Imperial crusades, so yes, that should explain a lot. Any case, how goes it with your, well, they are your acolytes now, how goes it with them?
Well, the acolytes that you worked with are forever performing well. Magnus kind of looks over at his side and gives a smile. One of my newer acolytes, however, has, as you may have seen, he's a bit of a handful.
Yes, I have also overheard that he was also previously an acolyte of another Inquisitor at the table, and, well, me being a psyker myself, that man exceeds my powers. You might want to indeed keep an eye on him.
Well, thankfully the God Emperor provides, and Sister Sarah is the perfect
Yes,
control switch.
I have noticed. I have noticed indeed. Are any of the other members of the party actually also standing close enough to hear this conversation, or is this literally just a conversation between bystanders?
Were we ever waved over?
Yes, they would be around Magnus. Magnus wouldn't have just had left them sat there, especially with how Ulftane has a tendency to get up to mischief.
Yeah, I think the only one who's got no possibility of being present is Felicia, but she's too busy fangirling silently over the Astartes.
Oh, that means she's still relatively close because the Astartes is still standing outside the doorway.
Okay.
Latilla would be near Magnus at all times, unless she was waved away. But
In that case, Sarah would definitely position herself that so the Inquisitor Gregorius is not within her sphere of influence, but Alfting definitely is.
Alton would probably just be walking around with some sort of a fancy drink in his hand. If you can find one.
Well, if Wolfstein will not cause problems, then Sarah is just gonna listen to the conversation.
Sarah, since you're paying attention to Oftain, roll me an awareness test.
Fortunately, that is not my strong suit.
It's one of my strong suits, but of course, the only things I could roll awareness are the condition of the Astartes armor.
Well, if anyone else wants to pay attention to what Oftain's doing, then I roll awareness as well, but you just need to declare
I'm
it.
just throwing him a glance every now and then, but
Yeah, you're specifically looking at Oftain, okay.
yeah,
Wait, so would anyone notice me just walking out?
It's kind of obvious that Sarah is definitely getting sick of having to babysit him.
Actually, Oftain, you roll me an awareness as well.
If Ulftane's leaving the room away from the Inquisitors, fine. That's no problem. He can cause trouble somewhere else.
Forgetting that there's Astartes and Felicia outside.
Look, if he's gonna cause trouble to Astartes, that problem is gonna fix itself real quick.
I mean,
Also, if he's walking out the door,
the problem is if he goes up to a Ultrasmorph and call them, what was it? Ultra Toilet?
No, excremental angel.
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm gonna roll if I notice him coming out because even though I'm looking at the thing,
How do I even know what a toilet seat is?
because toilet
I'm very-
seats are still a thing in the Imperium.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
we still have toilets. We haven't lost that SDC. I think.
We're not savages, man.
We don't have toilet seats though, do we?
Yeah, with toilet seats. Also, yeah, I see him walking out.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
Fel-
imagine
Fel-
if we had
yeah.
servo toilets. Jesus, that's
Fel-
scary.
Yeah, Felicia, as you
Good
actually
call,
look
yeah.
out, you see Oftain walk out. You actually also, you look around Oftain a bit, you notice several of the Inquisitors very interested, like with the faces that just shine bright with interest, just look at him.
Oh, before I leave the room, can I roll Cynicians to see if I can see any of the Psychos, by the way? I'll probably just stop and look back at the room.
Sure.
Apart from the really OP guy.
I was just gonna say, don't you have warp sense?
What did you say before? Legitimate Psycho? God.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's you. You don't build
Is that
effectively.
willpower or perception?
You're trying to. Are you trying to feel like how many Psychos there are, or are you trying to actively see how many Psychos there are?
Feel how many? Just like a number, essentially?
Effectively, are you trying to see their effect on the warp, or are you trying to effectively force some of the warp through you to read through the effect of this is how crazy or fucked up the warp is today?
Let's go with option number 2.
Okay, then roll with a willpower.
One of them's really good at spotting demons, but not picking out exactly where they are. The other one is really good at finding demons once you know they exist.
Yeah. So as you basically you feel how the warp is around here, you notice there's quite a lot of psychic going through this place. Yet the warp itself seems calm. Unusually calm for this large concentration of power.
I probably just squint and look around the room and then just nod before leaving with my fancy cocktail.
Several of the Inquisitors also nod back and then keep looking at you.
I probably don't notice.
You do
What
not
kind of
notice
fancy-
now, but Felicia does.
What kind of fancy drink could I find, by the way?
Um,
It's so stiff.
Best quality Amasec.
Are there any like cocktails?
You can
This is
take it. You can take it in a cocktail glass if you want to.
I was gonna say, this is the Imperium. Do you think they're gonna be giving cocktails to the Inquisitors when they need to at least look sensible?
Fine.
Well, there is
On
one
my
that
quest
is.
for cocktails.
There is one Inquisitor in the room. I'll let you have this one. This is why you didn't see any of the other Inquisitors looking at you. You've been constantly looking at this one Inquisitor who's just wearing just a really old-fashioned suit and is holding some sort of martini glass.
Does he have a martini in it?
You don't know what drink it is, but it could be a martini.
There's some weird green thing floating in it.
Yes. There appears to be some vegetable inside his drink.
I'll walk over to him and.
Bloody Mary.
Martinis have what's it in them, don't they? Olives normally.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just sort of. So, what are you drinking there? As friendly as I can be for someone who doesn't like people.
Oh yes, this is this is quite a nice martini. What are you drinking? You've took some of the Amasec. Good choice, my friend.
So, you got any other cocktails around here? Got a bartender, maybe?
Hold on. He puts his one. He puts his one down at a sort of side table, and he just reaches down into a sort of suitcase that's standing beside him. He opens it. He takes something out. He shakes it, and then he
Did this
pulls out
Inquisitor
another
bring
glass.
his own? Did he bring his own bartender kit?
He pulls out another glass. He
I mean,
pours it in, and he hands it to you.
if you want a shaken martini, so you're still sober after drinking it, you're gonna need to bring your bartender kit.
Pretty like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
And then thank you, good sir. See, you have good taste as well. You're a man of culture as well.
Yes. What might be your name, actually?
My name, I'd be Alftane. And yourself, drinking half of what the contents of my glass in one swoop.
Inquisitor Bane.
Well, you know Bane's a good drink, sir.
That is indeed true.
So,
the
what is it
conclave.
you're the Bane of? If you mind satisfying my curiosity.
Oh. Well, technically it's just my last name, but I do consider myself the Bane of heretics and demons, so we've got that going.
Fair play. Takes another drink while trying to think about the conversation with him. So, how many heretics you killed? You keep count?
At this point, I am afraid I have indeed lost count.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
It's also kind of hard to count when most of them are blown up in buildings behind you while you're not longer in the building.
Can picture that. You know what they say, cool guys don't look at explosions. And then
I have
flicking
not
a
heard that
finger gun.
saying before, but I assume it meant as a compliment, so I'll take it as one.
Well, the saying might have died out by now, but I have been on a demon planet for 40 years, I think.
Oh.
40?
Oh, wait. Are you one of those acolytes that went to retrieve Inquisitor Lumen? He leans in a bit closer.
Unfortunately. Why do you seem to have interest in that?
Yes, his
Finish his
appearance
drink.
is far from mundane, so, well, you can all expect most of us Inquisitors to be curious about the fact that the man now obviously sports a large pair of angelic wings.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumours among everyone until they started to die that there was some big evil thing, and it was him apparently.
Big evil thing.
Yeah, see, like at night, at night time. There's always two sides to a coin, you know.
True, true, true. That is indeed very true. Then again, I must say it is a remarkable testament to the disciplined training that most of the Inquisitors here received that he managed to retain enough willpower to not constantly be under the influence of his dark side then. Wouldn't you say so?
And I think to myself and I go, yeah, I wouldn't really be able to comment on trying not to kill everything. Pretty relaxed, and then I like hold up my empty glass. It's just to be like, I like to drink more than I'd like to fight.
He just straight up hands you the shaker with what is left in it. I have more of those, just keep it.
Wipes drool away again. Thank you.
Now, if you will excuse me, I do have several other Inquisitors that I need to discuss things with, so have a nice day.
Of course, I'll let you be. Thanks for your time and that drink.
My pleasure.
By the way, that willpower test was to see if I ask him if he's got a spare spot on his ship for a bartender.
Magnus doesn't like ask you to do anything. You're like, how can I get a job doing something else?
It's even more so. It's like Magnus doesn't ask you to do anything other than not show up to the bridge completely sloshed.
And that's only on special occasions.
You know what they say? Do something you love for a living, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, so Sarah, you would have seen Ulftate talking to this man. Felicia would have seen it as well. Basically, anybody who would have been looking at Ulftate would have seen him talking to this other Inquisitor.
I was gonna say, considering I'm all off on my own, I can probably hear it.
If you choose to, then you could have heard it.
But
And
I'm
then
just
I'll go
prepared
find
for
a
So, what is everybody else doing?
Probably trying to make small talk with. Are there any Inquisitors who bear the heraldry of the Sisterhood?
Let me quickly check.
Good question.
There is one. And she's actually currently in full Sororitas power armor as well, with her Godwin Powder Bolter at her side.
I would like to approach her and make some small talk.
Ah, a fellow sister. How about they?
Sister, I must be honest, I have not seen one of our order for a long time now.
No, what order are
Ah, right now I am of the Order of the Onyx Blade, although I originate from the Order of the Sacred Scroll.
Huh.
The former is a non-militant order.
No, I am very well aware of that. I have made use of their services on multiple occasions. Curious, many of them do not turn to the militant arm of the Inquisition, or of the Sisterhood in itself.
Yes, but my case was somewhat unusual in the end.
Very well done.
I was curious, if you'd allow me. Just that may be a bit personal question, so I will understand if you choose not to respond, but how was it for you? You know, the Inquisition thing.
It has been Several rough years, but ever since I've joined this conclave at the request of the Lord Inquisitor, things have been looking on the up and up, I might say. He is at the very least a resourceful man.
It sure appears so, I must.
And he has no quarrel with allowing me to use those resources to purge heresy wherever I find it, so...
Isn't that what we always should do? It is our sacred duty after all.
Yes, well... Some members of the Inquisition are slightly more radical and wish to perhaps utilize those that would stand against the Emperor against its other enemies. In my opinion, we purge them all the same.
There is wisdom in that, certainly.
Although, I have heard you are with the recently appointed Inquisitor Bloodstone, are you not?
That is correct. I am one of his acolytes.
I had heard that in his case he was confronted with one of the more exotic mercenaries of our Lord Inquisitor.
It is true. There was some. Well, let's just say that his blood pressure didn't exactly fall to the ground. Especially given his previous history with said exotic species.
Yes, so personally I would have attempted to burn them all if I were not restrained myself, so I can very much recognize that emotion. Although I must say, what I have heard about this particular band is that they, to a certain degree, have started accepting our Emperor as a god, which is curious.
They
But,
did seem somewhat different from the others I've encountered.
yes,
Again, those
although
were
I
mostly
personally still do not
savages.
wish to meet him. I would actually still personally not like to meet him because, well, I'd be far. She taps on the flamer pistol that is on her left hip. I would be far too tempted to use this one here.
Well, they do love their fires. Sometimes even too much.
Well then.
It was my honor, sister. I'm gonna politely bow and scamper away. Walk away.
Did you not
She
ask her name?
respectfully makes a sign of the equality to you and then walks off.
By the way, did I recognize? Did she wear heraldry of the order?
I'll give you 3 guesses to what very recognizable order she might have been part of.
Oh, I don't know. Is it perhaps the Our Martyred Lady? Because apparently every sister on display is Our Martyred Lady.
How did you know? Did the white hair tip you off?
Yes, I heard it was quite common in your order.
Yes. That was all entirely out of character, but...
Shh, it's fine, it's fine.
Okay. So, anyone else?
Is Lumen still around?
Lumen actually stayed in the room along with the female inquisitor that led you to the room to begin with. They are sitting across from each other near the end of the table that the Lord Inquisitor sat at, and they appear to be talking to each other.
I'm just gonna watch them for a little bit. Latilla is far too paranoid right now to be not to just be watching people and seeing what you're doing and taking notes, but
So Latilla will probably be quite annoyed when Magnus notices Lumen and excuse me, Inquisitor Gregorius. I would very much like to speak to Lumen again.
Ah, the Angel of T'Chalka.
Magnus has a little yes.
I'm not entirely sure if that name is justified, but well, he certainly does look like an angel. I'll give him that.
Well, one half of him does anyway. And Magnus kind of gives Gregorius a small bow.
I remember your latest report before you became an Inquisitor yourself, Bloodstone. I have read all about him.
I believe Sister Latilla here shot him out of the sky at one point. Magnus turns to Latilla and laughs a little bit.
He appears to be remarkably in good shape for that, but very well, I have with the new resources the Lord Inquisitor has put at my disposal, I believe I should start planning my campaign against House Raccoon.
Well, best of luck with your endeavor, and by all means, if you don't mind keeping me informed of your progress, I'd be most interested.
If you ever wish to be involved again with that, please do tell. I can already tell how that the Raccoons are planning to drag this war out as long as they can. They are not going to be going down without a fight. Anyways, a good day to you, Magnus. And he walks off.
Magnus turns around to Latilla and gives her a little smile, and so we know who's taking on the Raccoons now, at least.
Indeed we do. At least this way we can keep tabs now.
Indeed. And Magnus will then make his way over to Inquisitor Lumen.
So you move back into the room.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, as you walk back into the room, Lumen doesn't appear to notice you, but the female Inquisitor just immediately partially turns her head towards you and looks at you while you approach.
Hello there, Miss. I apologize. I didn't get your name before. I'm guessing Inquisitor would be your title.
Inquisitor Tisiphone Electo, yes.
Oh my words! You wouldn't happen to be the Lord Inquisitor's wife, then? Or perhaps his daughter?
Ah, your first guess was correct. His wife and his right hand.
I see. Well, it appears that the rumors are true that power does attract angels. And Magnus will have a little laugh, a little smile on his face, and then turn to Lumen. It's good to see you again, Inquisitor Lumen.
Yes, it is good to see you too, Inquisitor Bloodstone.
And how have you been keeping over these last few months?
Very well.
I see, if you don't mind me saying, when we last fought alongside each other, you had some concerns about leaving Chakauka for your nightly rituals, shall we say?
Those are luckily well under control.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Is there something else you wish to discuss about, or were you simply coming to check in with me? I do appreciate it, certainly, but
Well, there was that. Forgive me, it must be my noble heritage spurring me on to mingle with my fellows. But it was also to inquire as to, if you knew, perhaps, what I should prepare myself and my acolytes for. I unfortunately have not been given any marching orders as of yet.
well, I am not yet fully back into the loop. It has been quite a while since I've been separated from the Conclave. Eliza, do you know what he's planning? Well, perhaps he is planning to give you an assignment. Perhaps he wishes to see how you strike out on your own. He has not yet told me his plans for you and Gregorius, although I do believe Gregorius has already set out on him by himself.
Yes, I believe he is, or he informed me that he is to try and deal with the Raicones.
Huh. That particular rogue trader house. You know, I've never felt comfortable around them. Or about them, in that matter.
Yes, there's definitely something about their breed that is,
Yes, and as
grating.
a Inquisitor of the Ordo Xenos, well, I've been given access to the medical files upon their dissections. Let's put it this way, I was not entirely surprised.
Do tell, I was privy to that report as well. Unfortunately, it went over my head a little, but my
Yes.
interrogator was most informative in explaining the medical procedures that she could understand.
Yes, well, it would seem that the Raccoons, before their inception as a full rogue trader house, probably, judging by their history, has had managed to figure out how to implement Xenos genetic material into members of their family before puberty, which would result in them being similarly linked into a hive mind as a gene stealer cult would be, making all members slightly more agile and strong, as well as making all of them psychers.
And of course, abominations to the God Emperor himself.
Yes, very true. The way they did it is indeed abominable. I must concur with that.
And, Lumen,
They...
am I to believe that you dealt with the station in orbit?
Oh, no, I have not. Well, I have partially helped deal with that. Whilst I remained in close proximity to T'Chaka, just to be sure, Inquisitor Centanus was so kind to send two of his favorite, well, in fact, one of his favorite agents and one of her favorite agents to aid in cleaning it up, as well as half an Imperial Guard regiment. So far, the entire place is still being thoroughly looked through for anything that could potentially be of value for the Mechanicus. but it has at least been purified of the taint that was lingering there. A large quantity of flamethrowers will do that.
I would imagine that if the station is under our control now, perhaps filling the station with a gas, get it over and although Magnus kind of thinks to himself, the resulting explosion probably wouldn't best please the Mechanicus.
I expect you to know more of that than I do. After all, I heard you chose to become a member of one of the Ordo Minoris, the Ordo Machinum, if I were correct.
Yes, that's quite true. Well, given my already stellar relationships with the Mechanicus, given my background, it made sense to work alongside them.
Right, so, at this point, all the Inquisitors but you three have left the room, and the Deathwatch Marine have started to move inside of the room and close the doors again. Are any of the other players currently also in the room with Magnus? Or are they still in the hallway?
Latilla, I imagine, is with me.
Yeah, Latilla is near.
Sarah's probably orbiting vaguely in the vicinity of Magnus right now.
I mean, I'm probably orbiting the Deathwatch Marines.
Which means you're also inside. Olsane?
Often is probably.
just wandering the halls.
So you're outside, okay.
I thought Often would be trying to steal a certain case.
He's been given the shaker with its remaining contents in it, so.
Oh god. He's starting his own bartending set.
Start my own bar. I'm gonna move out of this Inquisition business.
Next thing we know, he purchases trade bartender.
In all fairness, being a bartender would be a great thing for the Inquisition, because everybody talks to them.
That is true.
Exactly.
Next thing we know, he'll buy himself a rogue trader ship. It's going to be basically a bar boat.
I mean, pleasure boats
gin
are a
palace.
thing in 40k.
Exactly, he's going to be cruising around the stars, while partying on and offering beer to people.
With noise marine bouncers and shit.
Sounds like something Slanesh would be very interested in.
Oh yes.
She hired.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Raiding worlds purely full of materials to repair all the broken bar stools and all its alcohol and food, and then just move on again. But yes, let's move on.
anyway, so everybody but Olftane's in the room for varying
Yes.
reasons.
Yes. As the quite large doors close, and all the Deathwatch Marines, except two of them are still standing outside. The other four are now inside. As the doors close, the small back door that let the Lord Inquisitor walk through, it opens again, and he steps back into the room. Inquisitor Bloodstone. Very well. He moves back to his seat.
Magnus will give
Can I help
the
you?
Lord Inquisitor a curt bow, and my lord.
Is there something you wish to discuss?
I had just been mingling and had the extreme pleasure of meeting your charming wife here.
Ah, yes.
But I had pondered the question. Did you have any marching orders for me and my group, or were we to find our own heresy to destroy?
I was actually going to partially ask that of you, since you have been so recently promoted to Inquisitor, and your former experience was merely only as an acolyte instead of an actual interrogator, I was actually gonna pose that same question to you. Would you like orders? Would you like to set out on yourself, or would you perhaps stay on the eternal conviction, or perhaps on the planet below for a bit longer? You may consider this system as a sort of headquarters or retreat between your chosen missions in the very case.
I believe it would be probably best, as you have so wisely pointed out. I have not held the position for long, nor did I work my way up through the ranks in the traditional manner. So, if you had a mission that you would like us to investigate, then by all means, my lord, we are at your disposal.
If that is the case, I believe something to do with your previous occupation has come up. Something to assist your former interrogator Gregorius Nominus. The Raccoons have a traitor in their midst. One who has already seen that the Raccoons will not endure against the might of the Inquisition, and would like to find redemption in the Emperor's grace. Perhaps it would be a suitable task for you to safely retrieve this man. We are very interested to hear what he has to say.
Very well, my lord. Consider it done. Should I speak to Inquisitor Gregorius on the matter?
If you wish, you will not be working together directly, unless you choose so, but how you handle this operation is entirely up to you. Does this sound like a suitable assignment?
But of course, my lord, me and my team will handle this for you.
Very well. In that case, since you have formally accepted this charge, you will be attempting to extract a certain Lord Vader.
Magnus lets out a large sigh, and his shoulders kind of slump forwards a bit, and... My lord, you don't happen to mean the Raccoon's general?
I do indeed. It turns out that his military experience has left him in the position most aware of the fact that the Raccoons are unable to win. And a intelligent man would not waste his potential on heretics and a failed cause.
Very well, my lord.
And his insight into the Raikon's war machine could prove largely beneficial to the charge of your fellow Inquisitor Gregorius.
I can see how that would be the case, my lord. I will endeavor to extract said individual and bring him safely to your custody.
You have my gratitude. Now, is there anything else you would like to discuss, or
No,
would
my
you
lord. I believe that is all. We shouldn't take up any more of your valuable time.
You are free to stay and participate in our discussion. He motions to Lumen and his wife as well, should you be so inclined. Of course, if you wish to get underway, I also find that completely understandable.
Although the offer is most generous, my lord, I Magnus looks around the room for a moment. I do believe one of my party members, the mischievous one, has
Yes,
evaded
the
our
psycho.
sights. Yes.
He is still outside the doors. Don't worry.
Am I?
You
I-
are.
But
I apologize,
Am I?
my lord. I do worry that that boy has a tendency to get himself into all sorts of trouble.
There are 2 Adeptus Astartes and several Inquisitors still there. I'm sure they'll know how to deal with him.
Very well, my lord. Then I would be only too pleasured to join you in your conversation.
Very well. In that case, please do have a seat.
Magnus takes a seat, and he'll, if his retinue are still standing, he'll gesture to them that they can sit down.
silent fangirling over Astartes intensifies. They got some good equipment.
Yeah. At this point, they have just accepted.
In all fairness, it's a mechanicus who's not seen them before. If the mechanicus aren't fangirling over the fact they actually maintain their equipment, which in the Imperium isn't common, in all fairness,
Yeah.
they're never going to get used to
I
it.
mean, they don't maintain their equipment. Their tech marines do that for them.
Yes, but it's maintained.
They now have an orbiting tech priest.
They technically do maintain their own guns and everything. They just don't know how to maintain their armor properly. That's what the tech marines are for.
Yeah, like I've gone from, oh look at that cool bolt gun, look at those bolters, to that glorious power armor. How can I use how this one's been maintained to maintain theirs? Because she's got to remember how to maintain your armor better. Because there's no way you know how to maintain that.
The sisters at the very most know how to make it look shiny by polishing it.
We're very good at polishing that armor. It must look holy and sacred and shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It
Latilla
most certainly does.
is superstitious. Beauty is all to her, so she makes sure to keep her armor clean, oiled, and
You don't know how to oil it.
pristine.
Pretty sure we do.
Pretty sure we do it.
The outside, not the inside.
Yeah, you don't have to oil the important parts. You just make it not squeak whenever somebody goes and puts it down.
Exactly.
Which is what matters, really.
I've got to like single-handedly disassemble the damn thing to fix it.
I don't think you're holy enough to touch the armor.
Only the specially certified tech priest with a diploma from the ecclesiarchy may maintain the holy sororitas battle armor. Or not.
You know Felicia personally, probably let it slide.
Yeah.
And she is as well a member of the Inquisition, just as you are, so yeah.
Yeah.
And
She's
even if you're in the Inquisition, you do not mess with the Inquisition.
It'd be a long ass time in between you guys getting your armor maintained if you didn't let Brother Felicia do it.
Yeah. Still,
So-
we do take care of our armor.
So, Lumen, how are you? I am doing well. I must once more. I feel I cannot thank you enough for this, Lord Inquisitor. Thank you for the training that you have given to me. Had I not had it, I would have been fully corrupted on that world. Yes, I see part of it was even slightly beneficial to you. Yes, though it was nothing like the controlled circumstances that you have put us through. We were able to maintain ourselves long enough to not be vanquished by the darkness of the immaterium. Excellent, excellent. Now the question still remains, how do we root out the corruption inside of you? It is a potentially useful tool, but one I do not particularly approve of. I am well aware, Lord Inquisitor. If I might propose something here, perhaps if we put him on the throne, it could work. Considering you are by far one of the most trained in a specific circumstance, Newman, perhaps you would be able to survive the trial. Considering that you managed to partially survive, at least even in uncontrolled circumstances, should speak volumes to that. It would be my honor, my lord. Very well then. We shall undertake this trial as soon as possible. Are there any that you wish should accompany you, should things go wrong? At that, Lumen glances towards you, Magnus. Well, Inquisitor Bloodstone, if it is not too much to ask, you still need to be introduced to one of the ceremonies of this conclave, and perhaps watching me complete my full training here, and the fact that you are the one who rescued me, would you accept the honor of standing guard as I complete my last ritual?
Magnus looks a little bit confused, but by all means, I'm only too happy to assist in any way that I can. What do you mean by the throne?
A device down on the planet. It is essentially the tool we use for the last part of one's full training. So far, only me and my wife have completed it. Others have tried, but failed. He'll explain that to us when he says that. But perhaps Lumen here could be the third to truly achieve its purpose.
Very well then, my lords, I am at your disposal.
And considering speaks so highly of you, he says this while actually looking towards Lumen. Perhaps we could even make preparations to make you the fourth. Should you prove to have the right aptitude for it.
Well, my lord, this has certainly piqued my interest. By all means, if you could inform me of what this would entail.
You have encountered the creatures of the great enemy from beyond. And from personal experience, I have found that the best way to combat the forces of chaos and their demons is to first master the chaos and demons inside of yourself. As for saying one that is not in control of themselves, not in control of the chaos that rages inside everybody's soul, might eventually succumb to it. And this training is meant to the very absolute peak, allow you to vanquish or control the demons inside of yourself, control the chaos inside of yourself, and turn whatever power that they would wish to turn against you on themselves.
Just so out of when he's talking about the temptations like gluttony, greed, wrath, and
In a sense, he's also essentially like know how to control yourself, but not by sheer control, but by accepting that it is there, but knowing how to master it.
okay,
Is what he's conveying. So it's not control or vanquish in a sense of denying that it exists within you, but fully come to the realization that it exists within you, but that you are the one who is in control over it.
okay.
He goes into he goes very he goes broadly into his explanation the moment he notices you not entirely following the first segment.
I think I understand the principle behind it,
Yes,
my lord.
and with it, at the completion of training comes, well, a great responsibility to bear, but to bear it, you will also be granted great power. And with that, all of you, for a short while, actually see his armor turn slightly more golden and almost a mirage of wings behind him before they slowly fade away again.
Was
Just-
that the Lord Inquisitor or Lumen?
The Lord Inquisitor, yes.
Okay.
Just like discreetly, my thingy mechadendrite, my utility one, just starts going over and doing maintenance on the optical one. I'm not trusting what that thing just saw.
Yeah.
It's got to be defective.
However, as that happens, you immediately notice Lumen just bows his head in reverence. Eliza just seems to lean a bit closer to her husband at that. I think we should schedule this as soon as possible, so that Lord Bloodstone can also continue his own personal charge. I say we make our way down to the planet, so that tomorrow we can begin. Yes, my lord.
But of course, my lord.
In that case, I shall, well, he looks to himself. We shall take our personal shuttle down. You may choose to also use a shuttle. You may also use a teleportarium if you are so inclined. But we'll be leaving now.
Magnus kind of like gets quite interested at hearing about a teleportarium, and then like gets brought back to, yes, I will make my own way down very soon, my lord. And Magnus will stand up and bow if they leave, or he'll bow and then leave.
Eliza gives you a nod. The Lord Inquisitor just makes a sign of the Aquila, and then they both leave through the door that previously the Lord Inquisitor had left through already. Lumen walks towards the doors, and the Astartes open the doors again.
There's Olftain being spun in circles by the Astartes when he's not looking.
Actually, Felicia, since you was mostly looking at the Astartes as well with your regular eyes, you would have noticed that when the mirage occurred, that all four of the Astartes also slightly bowed their heads towards the Lord Inquisitor and then raised them again the moment the mirage disappeared.
I have a question.
Ooh.
Yes.
Can you maybe roll warp to see if I can figure out what exactly was that, or because it's spooky.
What would you like to roll for that?
I have warp. I have. I mean, from the Forbidden Lore, warp, and maybe demonology, maybe. That's from the Forbidden ones, anyway.
Yeah, this would have to be a Forbidden Lore check. You could choose to roll warp or demonology on this.
I'm gonna roll warp then.
And did we get a name for the Sister of Battle Inquisitor?
You did not. Sarah, you think that it might have been some sort of psychic trickery that he pulled. As in essentially that he was able to sort of conjure that image behind himself.
Okay.
After all, Orthe did mention that the man was a powerful psyker.
Also, I like you mentioned my regular eyes.
Wait, did
I
I
got
mention
cybernetics.
Yeah, but I mean, like, not your mechadendrite,
Yeah.
what I meant.
Did I mention that?
Also, you did mention that the Lord Inquisitor you kind of mumbled it, but you mumbled it loud enough for everybody to hear that guy is a powerful psyker.
It was back when we first met the guy, and you were a bit in shock at it, and you were first getting used to the I'm gonna be able to have alcohol again.
Yes, and then also immediately introduces the fact that holy shit, there's a dude that's psychically more powerful than I am.
It's not been a long time, but
I was gonna say, if nobody else had heard you, I would have heard you.
In any case,
And then I'd have just passed it along.
would you first like to go back to your own ship, or would you like to take to the Batarium, or would you like to take a shuttle right off of this ship, or?
Magnus would gather the team, make his way back to his ship. He would probably, once out of the way of the Astarte. So I'll go back a bit. Magnus would want to go up to the Astartes if there was no other Inquisitors in the room, and he would like to turn around to them and, hello, Astartes. Forgive me for asking this, but what's your take on the Lord Inquisitor?
In regards to my many years of experience serving the Emperor, he appears to be one of the most fervent and loyal servants that is not one of our own that I have ever encountered. He seems to be willing to do anything to save humanity from the great enemy beyond, the great enemy without, and the great enemy within.
Magnus will bow very low and thank you. Your words weigh very heavy on my heart, and I will take them. And
one of the other ones also fills in that it also does help that he appears to be respectful of our autonomy, as opposed to several other Inquisitors that we have encountered and served.
that is why I wish to ask your opinion, and it has helped massively. You have my deepest thanks, and again, Magnus will bow. Make the sign of the Aquila, and leave.
Would you like to know the symbols of the two Astartes that answered?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to know the symbols. Magnus won't know what they mean, but yeah.
One of
I'm
them
gonna roll.
one of them was a skull, if you looked at it from the side, and the other was the bird with the blood drop in the middle.
So one of them's a bird on its period.
I have a Magnus has a feeling that he should hold on to his valuables and relics very tightly.
Probably, and near both of them too.
Can I fate the first one?
I
Okay.
was just gonna say that.
Wait, what's my target? Oh, wait.
Okay.
was
I
just
rolled
saying-
Heresy. That's not heraldry.
Okay, please.
I mean,
You still
it's
pass.
kind of applicable to one.
It's a perfect hit if you look at it, but the fact is that for the first one you would have received a -20 penalty, so you would have failed that one. So you think they are the skull marines or something. The second one you now recognize it. Wait, those are not birds on their oh, those are the blood ravens. I've heard of those.
I need
What
to
have I
keep
heard?
I need to keep my alcohol safe.
Wait, what have I heard about them?
You've heard about them. That's it.
Oh, they exist
They're a
and they have a
thing
nice
that
picture.
exists.
And you named them correctly.
You know their name. You know the name of that marine's former chapter correctly. Instead of thinking he's from a chapter of Astartes that apparently reversed some sort of bird that's on its period.
So,
This-
Blood Angels
Heresy
or
should
Ravens?
only revere
I
the
forgot.
Emperor.
Blood ravens.
I'll also say, Blood Ravens, and then sort of salute and then bow.
Magnus
Yes,
looks
that
at.
was my former chapter. What of it?
Just a... Wait, do you not go back to your own chapters eventually? I thought it was just like a temporary thing. you
We are
guys do.
members of the Death Watch. We have cut all ties with our former chapters, and now solely serve as the militant arm of the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition.
I'll just sort of shrug and walk off. I'll continue walking at least.
Magnus nods in approval, and as we get out the way of the Astartes, old man, I didn't know you actually knew anything. That's impressive.
Mate, I know how to get us to teleport on top of a ship and to kill some random woman that you used to have a thing with. And he raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, let's not talk too much about that, shall we? I've been checked up. I'm fine.
He'll just start laughing and pat you on the back and keep walking.
Once Magnus gets back to the ship, in our ship, with our guardsmen. So, any of that seem odd to any of you?
All of it seemed odd to me, but you know me, Magnus.
Like, it's not every day you see someone, I mean, okay, we met Lumen. That was an experience. But then the Lord Inquisitor seems to be able to turn... What was that about? He had wings.
I think it was some sort of illusion.
Can I roll the warp to get more information about his wing?
From that perspective, you can roll me against willpower, and if you put the bonus to it.
I got
Is
Sinisian's
Jay
willpower.
roboty for anyone else?
Yeah, he's
or-
roboty, but you can roll Sinisian's
Very
willpower.
roboty.
So no seems willpower, okay. I don't have any fate.
For me to compass.
You should have got like at least one from a session change.
was game.
I just used
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, roll
you-
through.
In that case, you may simply roll for the law, warp, or anything
No.
else you might find applicable.
Alright, we're getting
Heresy?
8 per session, right?
Your fate is refreshed every session.
I forgot you were Forbidden Law Warp.
I know everything.
No, you don't. You
Except
don't
I
have.
can't roll.
I mean, at least this time you got half exactly for your target.
Magnus is just nodding along to Sister Sarah, saying it's some sort of
Also,
psychic-
you were not in the room when it happened, but
yeah.
from the way that Sarah describes it, yes, illusion to make one appear to have wings. That's definitely someone as powerful as he could do.
It's easily an illusion. If it's real, then I just pause and think about it.
Maintenance pauses. So my mechadendrite is not malfunctioning.
No, brother, I saw that, and I'm guessing if everyone else did, then it was not a malfunction.
Wait, would I be able to do the same as him or no?
You think you could?
If you
I
had
just
the
mumble
illusion
to
power.
myself, I could easily do that, and I'm just like, heh. Just trying to think about how it's done.
Well, I guess we'll have to just work at the job at hand. If any of you want to come with me, the Lord Inquisitor didn't say you couldn't, so feel free, but if you want to stay up here and do some research or look into some things, I'm a bit curious about having to get the Rycone's general out of... Doesn't that just seem a bit odd to you?
Why don't we just go for the main flagship? Just jump in there, do the same shit. Easy, man.
Because
We don't have a ship that they haven't designated as friendly in the past.
Well,
Oh,
this
we
We
ship
could just
used
launch
to
a
be.
box at them, and they won't think anything of it, right? You know, one-trick pony?
That would be a real fast way to get an upgrade. I'll give it some serious thought, old man. That might just be insane enough to work. Magnus has a little glint in his eyes, but yes,
You mean get you an upgrade?
all of us, kind of.
Yeah,
Magnus,
yeah, that's a
mate,
nice joke that is, mate.
Magnus starts heading towards the shuttle bays. So I will.
I'll go.
I'll go to the planet with whoever wants to join me. Like I said, for the rest of you, do some investigating.
I'll follow you, Magnus. There isn't much I can do up here.
Very well, sister.
Will you be taking one of the pilots, or should I pilot the shuttle?
No, I think I think having one of the pilots take us down should be fine. We're in friendly space. If you want to, well, by all means, you can join us, Brother Felicia, but if you want to do maintenance or research, feel free.
Yes, I shall do research. What little I can do.
Feel free to access my study and all the books contained. Just the the really forbidden stuff. Don't take it out of my library.
I'll just lean over to Magnus and go, what location are these forbidden books? Like, how would you describe your library? What location?
Well, it's my library, and there are some books from the Inquisition. I also found a book, I think it must have been left by Miss Alona. It had some strange blue, I don't know.
Strange blue glow?
No, it was some sort of Xenos, I think, or I'm not sure.
I'll just have my eyes squinted at you, as if to be like, yes, that's suspicious, mate. So, first order of business, teleporting into Magnus's private study.
What do you mean teleporting? If the door's locked, Felicia can unlock it.
It's not
Have
locked.
you ever
all
been in
have
his
access.
study?
Oh,
I
we
mean,
all
if
have
it,
access.
I mean, if it was locked, actually properly locked, we can't go in there at the moment because you forgot the
To
key.
lock it if you left.
I keep telling
Do
everyone,
rem-
please feel free, use the study. You go in there, it's just there's a layer of dust on the books where Magnus doesn't read them.
Yes, there is definitely a lot of time she's spending in your library because she hasn't set up her own yet.
Yeah, so the door would just be open as well. Who is accompanying Magnus down to the planet?
The Tilla is.
Sisters for life. So where it's gonna go?
Yeah, boy. In this case, yeah, go.
As much as I feel like I'm going to miss out on some combat with Felicia, Felicia's got to stay back and do research. Someone's got to do research.
Okay, so Attila and Magnus, you take a shuttle down to the planet.
And Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah too?
Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sisters
Sarah
for
was going to stay in the library as well. Okay, so the sisters and their inquisitor go down to the planet. Very well. So what do people that remain on the ship like to do?
I'd like to go and late in the night and find this fancy book that Magnus was talking about, the blue one.
Magnus, just to be sure, which of the books you mentioned, which one was it?
Magnus was just fucking with him.
I thought so.
He finds a tome of.
You do realize fucking with him is probably the worst idea you had, right?
I was gonna say
He's gonna toss your entire library.
I was gonna say he'll find
12
Often
hours
will-
later, I'm just still like, where the fuck is it? And I just teleport it into space.
I don't. Often he'll find. I think often he'll find a blue book. It'll be how to maintain your lasgun.
Wait, why would that be blue? That sounds quite expensive for such a simple book. Maybe it's a kid's book. Jesus, that's dumb.
It's a kid's book for nobles.
It's a kid's book for people who get forced to go in the army.
How to make sure that the peasants die instead of you.
Be like
That's
the
another one.
peasants who should be oppressed, for it is your birthright.
Yeah. Now, I'm not actually sure what research I can do other than maybe like a tech use or I try and roll laws. And I don't think I actually have any applicable laws for research.
Don't you have infused knowledge?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like this level of Raikkonen research is a forbidden. So I can roll take use or I can roll infuse knowledge. The
What would
alternative
you,
is
If you
what
want, you
would you
can
like
come
to
with us.
specifically find out?
what was that, Jay?
What would you like to specifically find out?
Well, shit, I got no idea. I guess I've got to go with him.
Okay,
I
so
just
that
been-
means Ulftain stays back on the ship by himself.
Because I'd have just been researching whatever I was told to research. If I've not been told to research anything in particular, I can't really research now, can I?
I mean, we're now technically independent, so you could research whatever you want.
Hold on. Ulftain, would you
Hello.
like to try searching for this book?
Yeah.
Roll me a scrutiny perception.
In before,
Just like.
yeah, I was gonna say in before Ulftain doesn't have screening perception.
Can
You
I
spent
roll citations to see if there's any psychic books in here?
Let me finish, please. You spent half the time pulling the door before you realize, oh wait, it's a push door. Meanwhile, the rest of the party bought a. Would you board an Arvis land lighter, or would you take one of your Aquila landers?
Aquila.
Okay. Would you take an armed one or an unarmed one?
Armed.
Okay. Is Felicia piloting, or are you letting a servitor pilot, or are you taking an organic pilot?
I imagine if Felicia's coming with us, she'd want to pilot.
Felicia?
I guess I can pilot it. I mean,
Okay.
stats wise, the pilot's better than me. But yeah, I can pilot it. Because it's something simple.
You could take a co-pilot with you if you want.
I mean, I can have co-pilot Servitor.
Back and that too.
I'll go with Servitor co-pilot.
So you take one of the armed Aquila landers with a permanently stationed pilot servitor in it. And you fly down to the planet. As you leave your tiny spaceship, it looks just tiny compared to the enormous battle barge of the Lord Inquisitor, and it even looks small in comparison by some of the other vessels in the system. And you approach the planet. There, you fly straight down to where the battle barge is, as it appeared to be in the geosynchronous orbit with the planet with a specific location. And that location is a hive city. You fly to its spire, where it has several landing bays. After Magnus sends the codes of his rosette, the landing bays immediately open up and they allow you to land. As you land, the guards that are posted outside, pretty large. Also, everybody that is down on the planet now, roll me an awareness test.
What type?
Oh joy.
Or rather, I'll just assume I get my optical bonus.
Yes,
That was not what the dice showed.
I
me.
re-roll.
This is
I'm
an
gonna-
optical
I'm gonna
test,
fail
yes.
it.
I'm gonna remove these dice because I don't like them.
I don't-
Oh, what the?
Magnus, out of the corner of your eyes, you think you spot some sort of bird to the left. You look, you said, see it. Just yeah, Felicia. The moment you step out of the thing, you notice like, okay, what the by the Omnissiah, what is this? Because you immediately notice before they move properly out of sight, several winged individuals in golden armor wearing bolt guns flying around the landing pad.
Well, at least there's no flying fish nearby.
The two guards that approach you appear to have remember this sort of gun halberd I described to you that your own guards had? Essentially a better tech version of that, and they are essentially in fairly ornate armor as they move towards you. They are not Astartes large, but they are larger than your average man. So somewhere in between like regular full-grown man and Astartes, somewhere in there between in size. And they are wearing ornate power armor.
So back to the individuals who are flying around my head with wings. Are these full-grown humans flying around with wings?
You only saw like a tip of one of wings. You saw that was some sort of bird. Felicia is the only one who actually spotted them before they flew out of sight.
Ah, okay. So Magnus
Yeah, 'cause-
kind of looks.
And if
around.
Felicia tells you, yes, they were fully grown and they appear to be wearing power armor as well.
I'm going to be discreetly letting him know. At least he gets to know.
Yeah, so what Felicia describes to you is essentially fully grown men with, again, these white angelic wings that appear to that what Felicia noticed appeared to be wearing a light pattern of power armor that was colored gold, and they had bolt guns. That's all that she could make out.
Magnus is kind of lost for words, just like as the guards approach, just like
Inquisitor Bloodstone, this is your first visit to Alazaro 4, is it not?
It is indeed. Please lead the way.
Very well. Welcome to Erebus Sancti. And he leads you off of the platform to essentially a giant elevator. We were told to expect you. You were meant to accompany Inquisitor Lumen, are you not?
I decided to make my own way down here, but I should be meeting Inquisitor Lumen. You are correct.
Very well. The Inquisitor has arrived via teleportarium. The Lord Inquisitor and his wife are not yet here, but that is of no concern. We will be aiding you in your guard duty, along with our special guard contingent down there.
Special. Could you elaborate on that that terminology? Magnus gives him a smile.
The guard complement specifically trained and raised to guard that specific section of the facility.
Just what should we expect down there?
Well, are any of you psychically active?
Exact opposite, in fact.
In that case, women like you, sister.
Could I roll like one of the lores to? Because as a player, I'm thinking Sisters of Silence, but is there any lore that would make
Once we
me...
met them, heraldry.
I have Tactica Imperialis. Would they be included in Tactica Imperialis?
No.
Okay,
Once we met them, maybe heraldry, but you've got to meet them.
I don't have heraldry.
Oh yeah, you don't have infused knowledge, do you?
I don't. What do you mean? There's a whole contingent of them?
Contingent. There are about 10 of them.
Still more than I ever met.
They come from all corners of the galaxy, man.
I guess maybe I'll finally have a chance to ask someone more experienced about my condition.
Perhaps. And then the elevator starts moving down.
Is it? We still have a guard with us, yes?
Unless you request that essentially the elevator is so large it's actually like 4 rooms. So if you want them to, you can ask them to leave you. So that they'll just go to another room.
No,
Otherwise,
no,
those two are still with
Magnus
you.
will hold it. I'm taking notes. Magnus will hold it.
There is also a notifier that essentially tells you what level of the hive you are on. And for a large portion of the beginning, it's like upper spire, high spire, lower spire, upper hive, middle hive, and then you notice the thing starts slowing down somewhat once the thing starts saying a lower hive. And after essentially you people, you've also begin just to give you a bit of a scale of how long this took. You were on this elevator for 3 days. But
What?
there was food and everything, so
I'm sorry.
Again, what?
Could you repeat that?
you were on this elevator for 3 days.
How?
It's
Dude,
a
the
really, really long elevator.
You
Keep in
went
mind-
all
It's
the
a
way.
really slow ass elevator, is what you mean.
You went all the way from the upper spire, like the highest point of the spire where you could land, to the lower hive.
I'm just gonna say we got like straight off into an elevator right next to a cargo pad, so it's probably also a freight elevator. And those are slow as shit.
You know what, Magnus, next time we should probably just take teleportarium or land somewhere else.
Magnus looks round at one of the guards after 3 days of being in an elevator and, a teleportarium. Would that have taken us directly to the location?
No, sir.
Okay, that's fine. I
Would
just
it
didn't want.
take us closer to the location?
The teleportarium still only connects to the upper spire.
Good.
Worst
I
elevator ever.
be happy, sister, that
If
perhaps
we
the Lord
made-
Inquisitor has not been waiting for 3 days for us to arrive.
True, and I suppose there's still no flying fish, so that's a blessing.
If you,
The Lord Inquisitor is probably stuck in the elevator.
Brother Mechanicus, could you please explain to them that if this elevator would go any further, that they would probably feel extreme discomfort due to the pressure of acceleration?
The elevator is built to accommodate your body to the changes in atmosphere. Were you to move directly from the upper spire to the lower spire, the nitrogen in your blood would bubble and you'd soon perish. Or would you rather that on top of that you not be acclimated to the diseases that are usually airborne and you won't be used to having been from off-world?
I tap on my helmet that clearly has a respirator in it. and-
Little is going to look to Sister Sarah, then back at back at Felicia, back at Sarah, back at her, back at like,
So-
dude, we're wearing power armor. We'll build for this.
No, Sarah has most definitely not been built for this, and you know
Also,
it.
also
Gosh, you're better.
you,
You're
b-
so
you
bad
do
on
know that the Mechanicus does know your power armor is only rated for a couple of hours of internal air supply.
it.
True, but it's still like it's technically it's void capable.
Yes, for a couple of hours.
Void capable also means in capacity of pressure. It means it keeps you apart while everything around you has no pressure. The acceleration of going like from the upper spire to the lower spire in less than a day than I think that you were suggesting. Yeah, that would be like that acceleration would require you to experience like around 50 G for around 5 hours.
That'd kill you. In fact, that'd kill
Even with that would break the power armor.
Okay, I get it. Slows
I
the
do need to ask: was the upper spire outside the atmosphere?
The upper spire
probably
was above the clouds.
I was kind of point out,
Lovely.
Felicia's not wearing power armor. So you saying you want it to go faster? You're basically saying you want her to die.
Neither's Magnus. He's only in Carapace.
Like, part of that thing she was talking about wasn't just referring to you, she was referring to herself and Magnus here.
Oh no, we get it. Still, it's just that, for the love of Christ, give us some space so that he can drop down faster.
Like, Magnus is more worried about the Lord Inquisitor waiting.
If you wish,
Again, he's probably stuck in the same elevator as we are.
if you, in the future, if you wish to do something like this faster, requisition a grab chute, then see if they're willing to let you jump off of the hive.
Looks at Sarah. Maybe next time. Who knows?
I'm not that interested in becoming a martyr to gravity, thank you.
Magnus looks at the two sisters. Do you remember that time the Astartes came dropping down in? Do you reckon I could get us one of them? We could arbitrarily drop you from.
Wait. So, are you suggesting you wish to make use of an orbital drop pod?
Magnus is just laughing as the guard says this. He's just like shaking his head, just like, clearly a joke, Sergeant. Clearly a joke.
Also, the moment like they talk about how they don't want to, she doesn't want to come out to gravity, Felicia kind of frowns. She makes sure those grav chutes work down it.
Yes, collateral would be quite absurd. You're quite right. Perhaps we should just enjoy the R&R time that we have been given.
I mean, as far as you're concerned, these rooms are actually quite luxury.
It was quite enlightening to see the inside of one of these, and to know how to better maintain it in the future.
Magnus is like fishing around in his jacket, like, I knew I should have brought more packs of low sticks than just what I did.
There are more low sticks in this thing. There's also showers in here. The entire thing is essentially a self-sufficient platform.
It's a moving apartment, and you guys are bitching about being inside of it.
Yes.
Someone take note
Well-
of these things for next time we're in a hive and it's getting attacked. This would make quite the impressive bunker if we went all the way to the bottom and just...
Until until someone shoots the elevator out of the sky.
Well, no,
It
we'd be
falls
on
down to our
the
deaths.
bottom, sister. So Magnus is like explaining the
So
militaristic
we
idea
get
of
buried under the hive.
there are plenty of tunnels down there. Got loads of food, clean water. You'd be fine. Well, Magnus looks around for ammo. Maybe not.
Next time I should bring some subjects I can experiment on. Or at least do some autopsies along the way.
This is not a mortuary.
And we would like to keep it that way, with all due respect. In the case, ding, we have arrived. The guardsman timed that perfectly.
He has probably been doing it for like 100 years now.
You can say that it would be at least a year to pick up that trait. So yeah. It opens up. What you open up to is a single hallway with at the end of it a staircase going down again.
Sorry, can I just point out we've left Oltane on his own on my ship for 6 days.
Don't worry, I'm just
I thought it was,
ransacking everything.
I thought it was 3
3
days.
days.
3 days to
3
get
days.
back up.
I thought you assigned some babysitters to him.
Like I said, he's probably tossed your entire library by now.
I was gonna say the
Where's the
library.
book?
Like there are mechanics with effectively been told, if the library gets destroyed, make sure the books are okay, then rebuild it. If he passes out drunk inside of it, rebuild it around him.
Make a pillow fort around him.
Rebuild it on top of him.
I know she literally means like just move him into the middle of the room and then rebuild the room like it was never broken.
Often, on 2 occasions, you find yourself suddenly with a very fluffy pillow beneath your head, and you're like, oh, I don't remember going to sleep. This is fluffy.
Wait, can I not assign missions to books then?
You can.
Why would he?
He's trying to find out if there's
That is
anything.
its perception. There is no psychically active book.
Oh, I still passed even if it was perception. Woo!
Yeah,
You really need to work on your perception.
no psychically active books. No book stands out to you in a warp.
Is there any heresy books in here?
There's several books about Xenos anatomy.
I was gonna say like half the library is books on Xenos.
I mean, there also is that book titled "The Great Enemy."
Hang on, are you trying to
Right,
tell
I'll
me
take my data.
there is actually, like I was pissing about, is there blueberry conspiratorial works here? Has Olftane found the Xenoporn?
Are you asking if he found the collection of Tau porn?
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
really-
real life. I accidentally find porn I can't read.
There is a small folder named Xenos Propaganda. It is blue.
Oh my gosh!
Jesus
Oh, it's blue.
I kept
Alright.
Tau loots. Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna read the whole thing.
Magnus should have looked closer.
And every time he passes out, that goes straight back where it was originally.
It is a bunch of military posters talking about something called the greater good, and then just a whole bunch of reports regarding those posters.
Halfway through the reports, I probably pass out drunk and then wake up again.
The reports are back where they were originally.
Ah, the mess.
Are there any books
library's
that could
in
probably
the
keep Olftane's interest?
What I was gonna say, is there any tissue around?
Depends. What would Ulfstein be interested in?
I got a quicker question. Hey Duka, how drunk does Olftane get?
I don't know. He wouldn't be drunk the whole 3 days, I guess.
No, but how drunk does he get?
Enough to pass out.
Okay, if Magnus has any child picture books, that'll keep Olftane distracted.
Is there like Imperium coloring books?
There is a Ogryn's version of the Imperial Guards uplifting primer. It has pictures in it.
Yeah.
I don't mean it's all pictures.
It's all pictures, yes.
Does it still have the white square you have to keep clean under the penalty of execution?
Yes.
Can I start bossing people around on the ship? And just that's what I do for the rest of the time.
To a degree, but the captain will most likely reverse your orders almost immediately.
And the mechanics have standing orders from Felicia to do their jobs. If you set them to do something else, do their jobs first.
I mean, you could always try hanging out with the astropaths and the navigator.
Can I order all of the lower working class to go and drink in like a close area, close proximity. So it's like a big ass party, pretty much.
Oh god, it's getting like 1,000 people drunk.
Jesus, we're gonna come back to this ship and we're gonna have to deal with a communist fucking workers committee.
The captain makes sure that only about 100 workers hear about it.
I'm
So
pretty
you get a
sure I could
party
go
with
into the command deck and then just like shout it out in the speakers.
the captain is there at all times, preventing you from doing so. You get a party going with around 200 people, and actually,
Can I roll
Magnus,
to party?
Magnus, what is the morale of your ship currently?
I believe it's 92, but I will just check. Morale is at 98.
You actually, let me check. Is there any condition that would stop you from doing so?
Yeah, we leave Altino for 3 days, and he gets drunk in the library looking at Tau propaganda. Gets drunk in the library looking at an Ogren's guide to being a member of the Imperial Guard, and then he manages to start a massive party.
You know, now that I think about it, there's a
We should have
very
left him behind.
there's
Wait,
a
can
big
I-
chance that we're gonna come back to the ship, and we're gonna find out that he actually staged a mutiny, and now it's not no longer our ship. It's a party boat.
I'm fully expected to see it back. It's like suddenly your ship's back out in space the moment you get out. What? Oh yeah, Altane next day pressed the wrong
Magnus.
button drunk.
Magnus, your ship gains 1 morale.
Can I
Oh,
not
Gain morale, lose
trick the
discipline.
captain into like, or like use? I'm gonna go as far as to say, can I use Gate of Infinity to open a portal near the console, so I can jump out and shout,
Oh.
"Party at deck 14!" Whoa!
The astropaths are actively preventing you from doing so.
Ah,
Look, Jay, when we get to that place and we meet the presumably Sisters of Sent, can we requisition one? Because I'm really tired of babysitting Ophthane.
Oh no, why do that? Why not you requisition like 4 null rods and then take them to him?
You can requisition a Sister of Silence.
No. Dylan has the right idea. Requisition a null rod and implant it in Ophthane.
That would essentially cause it to be permanent agony and lower all its psi rating down to 0.
Yes.
Dude, Jesus, dude, he just wants to party.
Just if you keep it civil, which is what the captain's making sure of, the morale of the ship raises by 1. So Magnus, your ship is now at 99 level on morale.
could have been 100, Magnus, if
I
you didn't tell the
can,
captain.
because it says 98 is the max, so we're 98 out of 98. So I think
Okay, in
there's
that case, you
something
simply
that
don't suffer morale loss from this.
Cool.
Let's put it this way: the stale air modifier for the next time you suffer morale loss is negligible.
Okay, cool.
So
How trash does deck 14 get then?
pretty trashed, and then the next day it's all clean again.
Hooray for the servitors.
Hooray for the servitors, also for the people that realize that if they make too much of a mess, they probably get vented.
No, they'll
Ashing,
join. Also, they won't get vented. They'll join the servitors.
They'd rather get vented. So, in any
I'm sure,
case.
can I not make like a fellowship test just to see if I can get any extra people involved?
You've got like 100 people.
200,
Can we
you
please
said.
skip this?
Yeah, we're done now. Altane managed to get 200 people involved. Keep in mind, that's like an entire shift's worth of people.
There's a guy with a silver shield there.
Oh yeah, forget about the Silver Shield guy.
He
If I
is
could,
your
I would have
second in
invited up
command.
the other Inquisitors as well.
Latilla, he's your second in command, chief of security.
Oh, he's nice.
Yes. Magnus made him the secondary chief of security in case you're not there.
Cool. Good to know. Good to know.
So, as you walk down this hallway, the guards accompany you as well. as the stairs go down the stairs, there is this huge ornate gate. And it slowly opens as you approach. Inside there is a large room with a special sectioned off, partially sectioned off. You can still see through it. Where inside that section you can see is a large, sort of a metallic throne-looking device with cables running just to basically all corners of the room.
Can I roll Forbidden Law Tech?
Sure.
Can I roll Archaeotech?
Sure.
And I'll spend a fate point.
Can I roll Scholastic Lore Infused Knowledge?
Sure.
Can I roll occult?
Sure.
Jesus, my rolls today.
Felicia, as you look
Apparently
at this,
that painting sapped my luck. I'm gonna have to fade that. I will not stand for this.
Magnus, this does not appear to be Archaeotech. Felicia, as you look at it, this looks like a heavily modified version of a navigator's chair.
Oh.
You also suddenly notice there's restraints on it, like by the arms and the legs. Sarah, you think this is some kind of torture chair. Latilla, you have no clue what this thing is.
Honestly, the way you described it, it's not far off.
According to Latilla, it does not even look like a chair.
Yep. So why would they need...
You also notice that now you're in the room, you see 10 women, all in varying degrees of heavy power armor. Like they don't all wear the same pattern of power armor. You see, some of them are wearing like heavy, some of them are wearing regular, some wear light, some of them are just wearing carapace. But what they all have in common is they have swords that shine with a sort of a silver collar. Yeah, that's just about the only thing they have in common, as far as you can tell right now. You can see that from two other entrances to this room, you can see that Lumen is trading in.
Robot!
Lumen is also.
Yeah, sorry, Jay, you're unhearable at the minute.
How's this?
Better?
Okay. Lumen is at one side of the room where he apparently entered, sitting on his knees praying, and the others opposing to him, the Lord Inquisitor and his wife, just walk through as well. Good. It appears we have all arrived on time. Lumen, rise. And at that, Lumen rises. Approach the throne. He approaches the throne. Take your seat and focus your mind. And the moment Lumen takes his seat, the restraints on the throne just immediately close. All right then. the Lord Inquisitor then reaches his hand out before Lumen's head and starts uttering something, and then walks out of the room again with his wife, and they both make the sign of the Aquila to Lumen before they leave. Lumen has at this point his eye closed. The 5 women, no, 10 women, need to keep my numbers correct, all stand around the throne in a circle, and the 2 guards that came with you go stand by the doors. You may choose yourself a position if you want to.
So Magnus would gesture at the rest of his party to stand wherever they want. Magnus would stay quite close because he was asked to oversee this. So
I'm gonna stand by the machine because I gotta make sure that this thing's not heresy.
I'm gonna probably stand fairly near the other nose. At least as close as they'll allow me.
They allow, as long as you don't break the circle,
No,
they'll allow
I
you.
would definitely not break their circle.
Yeah, okay. They allow you to pretty much get as close as that. So you can stand as close as not breaking their circle.
I would stand a bit farther, you know, the respectable distance away.
Okay. And now I'll let you see the rolls just to be that is 1. That is 2. At the first moment you see him you can see him clenching his teeth together. He is not screaming out in pain, but you can tell that he is experiencing serious discomfort. Then he starts calming down, and you all can quite clearly see his wings start retracting. He's going to spend a fate point. He's going to spend a fate point.
Out of control! We're losing him!
Define retracting.
As in growing
As
smaller.
Okay.
The wings now, what remains of them, they have halved in size. They now start to almost look sort of see-through, like as if they're not really there, and they continue to grow smaller. Lumen still has his eyes closed, and his face just looks as if there's immense strain there. You all hear him breathe out very heavily as the wings they both as if they were never there. And then Lumen's armor starts changing color. It already was slightly whitish, slightly silverish, but now it starts turning slightly golden. And with that, suddenly his armor just turns entirely golden. His pauldrons suddenly have these just massive aquillas on them. He opens his eyes, they glow golden with light. His hair turns just magnificently blonde and long as well. And suddenly the wings just sprout out of his back again. As white and feathery as they were previously, but they start off ethereal and then they just become solid again. And then the golden glow fades from his eyes, the golden glow fades from his armor, and the wings do the same thing that you saw with the Lord Inquisitor happen. They turn ethereal again until you can't see them anymore. But that Lumen's head just hangs forward. He looks unconscious, just massively exhausted. And the restraints around his legs, at least, they open. The restraints around his arms remain. As if only... It looks as if only to make sure he doesn't fall out of the throne forward. A few hours go past. The guards nor the sisters budge. And then you see him slowly wake up and sit back in the chair, and the restraints around his arm go chuk-chuk, and they both open up. He steps slowly off of the pedestal that the chair is on, and the sisters break their circle to let him through. He walks up to essentially a bit of an open space. It is before the throne, sort of a small circle that is just left there. And you see him just basically sort of gaze at his own arms a bit, just moving his arms, moving his fingers. Then he closes his eyes again, breathes in deeply, and then just his armor just instantly turns gold. The wings instantly appear again, and his eyes again just flare this golden light, and his hair once more turns just long and blonde. Well, I would like to call that a success. By the Emperor, I survived. Praise the Emperor. You just see him. It all just again disappears slowly, and you can just see him cry tears of joy. The sisters now all retreat patiently, and the two guards walk closer to him and both shake his hand. Thank you, Magnus, for standing there. I have not known you for long, but well, you have saved me, and you have now just also protected me.
Thank you, Lumen, but let's just call it a trait left over from the guard. Once I fight beside someone, I generally try to look after them. You were no different in that respect.
Still, I truly must thank you. And he walks in almost just to give you a hug.
Magnus accepts, I guess?
He is still in power armor, so he just partially lifts you up as well.
Thunk.
That's a Vulcan hug.
Yeah.
Bonk, bonk.
Friend.
Let me hug you.
And then he just puts you back down again. Pardon my enthusiasm. I had no idea it would feel disempowering.
I can imagine. I'm still trying to process the whole ordeal myself, and I was stood in the back. I can only try to imagine what you were going through yourself.
Um, uh, j- the the doors are not open yet, but about after 10 more minutes, the door of the Lord Inquisitor and his wife opens again, and they both step in again. Well, by the fact that you have not been torn to shreds by the guards around you, I assume it was a success.
Boo, pussy.
You are now third of us. Congratulations, Lumen. Yes, congratulations indeed. Now this, although I had suspected you would succeed, there was always a chance of failure. I am glad you have survived this ordeal. It was the Bloodstone.
Yes, my lord.
What have you just understood?
Very little, if I'm to be honest. I have seen some things that defy everything that I've previously known, so it is taking a moment to process. I can at least see for myself that Inquisitor Lumin had the strength of
By the way,
mind.
you no longer see the wings just piercing out of his back. Those are gone now.
Yeah, the force of mind to overcome such an ordeal. It is most fascinating, and I only wish I truly understood what was happening there, but I can clearly see the improvements to Inquisitor Lumen.
Perhaps then allow me to extend an offer. For your loyalty, this training comes with many trials. You have to survive the challenge. Perhaps you are ready. Easy.
But you will never
What?
survive a robot inquisitor.
Lord Bloodstone. By the way, am I audible again?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Lord Bloodstone, perhaps you would like to undergo the first test to see if your aptitudes match what is necessary. You will by no means yet face the same ordeals that Lumen has just faced. But please, take a seat in the throne.
Hmm. Sure. Yeah, let's. I am, Why not? Magnus steps forwards.
Do you take a seat in the throne?
Sure.
As you sit down, it's not the most comfortable of seats. The restraints do not lock over you. The Lord Inquisitor comes to stand before you. He raises his arm, and he starts uttering some words. You sit back. You close your eyes. And suddenly it is as if you are asleep. The Lord Inquisitor's voice distant. And before you, you see a reflection of yourself. Well, hello there, Magnus. How are you doing?
I am quite perturbed at the fact that I am looking and speaking to myself.
Now, what you're talking to is your conscience. Your conscience is telling you that you should have bloody damn well murdered all those orcs back on that ship. Orders be damned. You know those greenskins serve nothing but fury and fire of damnation.
You are indeed right. They do deserve nothing but fire.
Then why did you not give them the fire?
It's quite simple, my friend, and you should know this. A soldier always follows orders.
And what if those orders are misguided?
You tell that to the 297 men I left back on that world to die. Just so that an Inquisitor could do his job.
The Inquisition. Do you truly still believe that they are what is right for humanity? They let those orcs live. They made you trade with them. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel angry, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It makes a righteous fury build up inside my soul. But you're forgetting something. And I'm surprised that out of all the shit I've had to wade my ass through, that you would forget this. The God Emperor has protected me and wills me to survive and carry on. I will not let my pitiful hatred for one encounter rule my life. And I should roll willpower. God Emperor.
I was indeed going to ask you to roll willpower.
No, God Emperor, protect me.
Very
The Emperor
nice.
protects.
Of that, you see temporarily, you just see this image of yourself before you. For just a split second, you see it for what it is. Just a terrible, twisted reflection of you with horns out of its head, claws instead of hands, and bat-like wings, but then you can tell that the creature before you is in pain. It starts flickering between your image, like just looking like you, and its form, and its claws turn back to normal hands, and it just starts looking like you again. Very well then.
But don't worry, friend.
It steps sort of back into the. You realize that in this dream you've been constantly surrounded by some sort of fog. whatever this thing is, it steps back into the fog, and you wake up.
As it steps back into the fog, Magnus will look at it and... Don't worry, friend. When the time is right, our anger will be slated. But on my terms.
Okay. I've got to quickly look at your character sheet.
Sure.
Roll me a 1d7. And I know this is a weird dice, but just roll it.
Okay.
Suddenly, attitude gets replaced.
Oh, damn it, it's the... Hang on.
Flash was meant to go first.
Nice.
Magnus, could you please roll it?
This is why
Watch out.
this is why I set up macros normally.
He's gonna break roll 20.
Please add 5 to your weapon skill.
Ooh.
And please note down on your character sheet, Trial of Hatred.
Will do.
As you open your eyes again, the Lord Inquisitor is still standing in front of you. His arm no longer outstretched, but he's intently looking at you. You appear to be calm. I think you have just completed your first trial. Well done.
As Magnus wakes up, he's kind of still looking where the reflection of himself was. And he doesn't really look at the Lord Inquisitor until he's finished speaking, and then looks up at him and yes.
The Lord Inquisitor extends his hand to help you out of the throne.
Magnus takes it and pushes up on the side and rises to his feet. I think I have a better understanding now of what you meant, at least.
Good. Now, we do not wish to burden Gregorius with holding off the Raccoons by himself much longer. I suggest you go complete the mission you requested. He taps you on the back, just like a good friendly slap on the back, not too hard. And he walks out of the room with Lumen and his wife. And the guards open the door that you initially came from again.
Magnus will, but of course, my lord, a score needs to be settled. And we need to acquire your person of interest. Magnus makes a small bow and looks at the members of his team who were there, like gives them a bit of a sketchy look, and kind of walks out of the door, gesturing them to follow him.
Okay. You enter back into the movable apartment. and the guards so that they move back to the upper spire.
I'm sorry. We're going straight back up.
Right back up. Unless you
6 day,
request to go somewhere else.
6 day vacation, lovely.
7-day vacation because his entire trial for both Lumen and Magnus combined took us a whole day.
Oh, lovely. 7 days vacation. Doing absolutely nothing other than watching Magnus and Lumen do, weird shit. Magnus
Sarah
sat on
would
me.
definitely approach Magnus after they're back on the elevator, preferably out of guard's earshot.
Magnus would have gone in there, found a chair, sat down, and sparked up a low stick, and just.
So,
So.
what the hell
Magnus-
took you 12 hours?
What was that?
I'm not. I don't think I can explain it properly, so I'll tell it how it is. I was sent into darkness, and in that darkness I saw fog all around me, and then a
So-
reflection of myself, filled with hatred.
Reflection like a mirror? Or.
As in talking, a full-sized mirror just without the borders, and you can see everything.
Okay.
It was filled with hatred towards the orcs, and it seemed to tempt me to try and make me give in to that hatred, to that rage, but then I've always felt the God Emperor has, for whatever reason, decided to shine his light upon me. For whatever reason, when that thought came to mind, it changed.
Changed how?
It kind of shifted. The fingers lengthened, extorted. The only word I can give it is it took on a demon appearance, but kept phasing back to it look like myself, and then back, and before it faded back into the mist, and then I awoke.
God, that sounds terrifying. Seeing yourself in that form. Was that the Inquisitor's test?
I'm not sure what weird test that was, but
I'm
That's-
gonna be honest, I'm not a great fan of what is happening right now.
Neither am I. Look, Magnus kind of looks to the group there. Y'all know I'm not intelligent. I don't have the right gumption for the. So I had to experience it for myself to understand what in the hell was going on. I feel drained, but I somehow feel more confident, more capable. But my gut still tells me there's something wrong here.
We should have stuck to hunting gene stealer cults.
Magnus,
Yes.
roll me a willpower test.
God, Emperor!
wow,
Number.
lucky.
You're luck, bro.
I've rolled 4 times this session. and 40 is the highest I've rolled.
You hear in your head as if it is your own sword with your own voice. But we have gained power.
Oh god, you have a Dark Magnus in you now. Lovely.
You feel tempted to
Just
try out
possessed.
how. You feel tempted to just try your sword arm.
So, Magnus, at hearing, like, having that feeling, hearing that,
It's
he-
not much hearing, it's like it is your own thought. It feels indistinguishable from all your other thoughts.
but the thought would go through his head that power needs to be used responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel like I need to swing my sword around and, like, wata, wata, ta, ta?
Not so much that, but just the feel of your sword in your hand would make you comfortable.
Okay,
You
so
don't
as
want
Magnus is sat down, he
you
has
don't
his
want to cut
sword.
anybody down or something. You just want to kind of try your sword's arm because it's not seen use in such a long while.
So as Magnus sat down on the couch on the chair, he lights a glow stick. He takes his sword, still in its sheath, and puts it in between his legs, and he's got his hands rested on the pommel, as he's talking to Sister Sarah. And then I imagine a few minutes go by after he's told the story. Everyone's takes a minute to sink in, and Magnus kind of drops his glow stick, puts it out, stands up, and sword in hand, just, I don't know, like, just takes a few swings, but it's still got the sheath on. I just feel as if there's something, as if my techniques got stronger, or I'm not quite sure.
Okay, GM, another question. Because out of character, I have I as a player have a suspicion, but I'm not sure if I would know about those techniques in character. Because I don't know if Sisters of Battle utilize hypno conditioning.
They don't technically undergo hypno conditioning. They just undergo intense indoctrination from like the moment they are inducted.
Yeah, so that's like, I kind of want to roll, but I have nothing to lawyer it to get that, that Sarah would know what a hypno conditioning would
I
be.
was just gonna say, hypno conditioning is things like double think. So all the spy techniques.
I mean, out of character, Astartes also undergo hypno conditioning.
Yeah, but they're Astartes, and they undergo full-blown brainwashing as well.
So do Sisters of Battle, actually.
I'm stronger, but I do not feel as if this is a pure and proper way. I don't trust whatever happened down there, not one bit.
I wonder if that was a psychic effect. Damn it, one time we could have used the old man, he stayed behind.
Oh god.
It feels a
Yeah,
lot like a
that's true.
trial, like when you test yourself, but on a far more intensive level.
You see, it feels more like we're tempting fate and playing with fire.
When I Forbidden Lord
You,
text that thing,
you basically told us that you saw a demon form of yourself.
when I Forbidden Lord,
How do we know this isn't some chaotic trickery?
when I Forbidden Lord text that trial thing, it was heretical, right? Or at least it wasn't Mechanicus approved, which to me is heresy.
You're part of the auto mechanism, dude. You're dealing in artifacts and weird
Yes,
shit.
but Felicia, you also know that to a certain degree, Inquisitors have the autonomy required to experiment with technology, granted, as long as they do not go too far with it. And what you can tell, this was a complex, but no xenotech seemed to be involved, no chaotic artifacts seemed to be involved,
And
just
no abominable intelligences.
no abominable intelligence, just a
And no one marching
complex
around going, "Oogity
modification
boogity
to
boogity."
a navigator's chair outside of a spaceship.
Well, she still doesn't trust it. I don't trust. Why would they need a chair, specifically a navigator's chair like that?
Like I said, I don't trust it. Felicia doesn't trust it. You don't seem like you're interested. I find this procedure fishy, for lack of a better word.
But I do have an avenue to walk down. I need to speak to the old man would be a good one. Perhaps a navigator. Or the astropath. I need to learn more about, well, I guess the psychers, the warp. I need to understand more of what happened then.
If you want, I could maybe try and prepare some sort of summary.
By all means, sister, or you could help me with the research. Look into things of descriptions of how, the effects and how they felt and what they saw.
Well, what I can think of we could research. I mean, it wouldn't be it, but
Would, GM, would it be fair to say that that whole ordeal felt very much like a nightmare, a dream, in that kind of out-of-body sort of feeling?
Yes, yes, it did. It started off as if just a weird dream, then it's transferred into what looked like a nightmare, and then it just felt like a regular dream that you were starting to wake up from.
See, it definitely had the feeling of like a nightmare, dreams, and it definitely felt out of body and out of mind, to be honest.
that's something to go on. I'll start as soon as we're back up. Well, back on the ship anyway. We still have a job to do here, if I remember correctly.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to investigate in our travels. I imagine we'll find out what system the Raccoons are in once we speak to Gregorius. Magnus has a bit of a... We probably should have got his astropath. I'm sure the ship will have account of it. Or the Lord Inquisitor's ship will have account. Put that in the docket, brother Felicia. We need the comm codes to Gregorius' ship, the interrogator ship, and astropathic communications.
Right away. If it's not already been delivered, then I'll be pleasantly surprised. And she records it on the secure data slate, because that's the only one she has.
Out of curiosity... Actually, no, I don't want to know.
What, how secure is it?
That's good.
No, what would have happened if I'd failed my rolls? I don't want to know. I didn't fail them. It's fine.
Burn fate.
I could tell you what would have happened.
You would get possessed.
I don't know.
Or maybe the Sisters of Silence
mean,
would just, murder you.
Character, I really want to sit there on that chair now and see what happens.
Okay, now, do you want to I could tell you out of character what would have happened if you had failed that test. You would have gained 1d5 corruption, but you would have gotten another perk in the hatred of orcs.
Ah,
So your hatred orcs would count as double that. Its normal effect.
Well, shit.
I'm quite glad I didn't fail. The God Emperor does protect.
I'm just thinking, why not? Why not? You could have had a plus 20 for murdering orcs.
Yeah, I can get that with experience, and for me, not that much.
You know, like that even failure had its perks.
Because I went and got hatred gene stealers after that whole gene stealer affair.
And then we never fought a gene stealer again.
We only fought orcs once. It'll
Yet.
come up. It'll come up.
This campaign is far from over.
Technically, you also fought those gene stealer fucking cyber things, which you could have used your hatred against if you wanted to.
You are also going to find Vader, and I do not trust Vader in the
No,
not at all.
there is
So
not to be fucking trusted.
I
am positive we're most likely gonna get there, and it's a massive trap.
So we eventually get back to the ship, and there's been like a 3-day party.
No, a 70 party.
Yeah.
Are you nuts? He's been
Oh,
there for
big
7 days.
party.
Because he spent 2 days drunk and passed out.
Also partying. Of
No,
course,
this
it's
was before he
it-
partied, remember?
You,
was in the
you don't
library.
get it. The party started there.
That's where he was like, hang on a minute, I've got away with this, and I keep getting a couple of extra people each time. I could make this into a
Okay.
proper party.
Like I said, we're gonna get back. The ship has a the ship has a new coat of paint, completely
So sorry,
different.
Magnus, for butchering your accent.
That's quite right. I'm sure if any
Just-
Americans are listening, they're going, what the fuck is this Brit doing?
I was,
You
I
bastards.
I was just trying to put up my worst American accent possible, but the problem is that is just so. I can't do a terrible American accent. I can do a regular American accent, but that's not too difficult. But
Everything I do is terrible.
you know, like
I know what you're all talking about.
like deep seven with a bit of drawl. That's like kind of what makes it southern accent. Look like
Now
you
that
gotta
we
get
made,
drawl.
now that we made everyone who watches this ears bleed,
And I've gotten this more copyright strikes.
All is good
Fine.
with the world.
you're never gonna live that down, did you?
I'm not gonna let myself live it down.
Don't worry about
And
it.
you're
you-
roboting again. Were briefly, maybe.
As we get
You-
into the lander, it's just, old man, apologies, we didn't realize it was going to be so long.
As soon as Oathling picks up, all we're gonna hear is music blasting in the background.
Can that be a thing, please, Jay?
You get like a very popular Imperial song. It's essentially like a pop song version of praising the Emperor.
Oh god, turn it down.
What?
It just binary.
Turn it down.
Oh man,
Yeah, I just hang up.
apologies for that. Did that bitch just hang up on me?
did.
Ringing.
Best part, I already got the orders through. I started speaking to the mechanics of binary.
Gets put back through.
Felicia,
I-
put
oh,
down some
man.
proper hymns.
Oh man,
And it was-
we're heading
turn it off.
back now. I apologize for being gone for 7 days. That was unexpected for us as well. However, I expect my ship to be back in order by the time I get on board. Make the
No worries,
appropriate...
Captain. We have managed to keep Mr. Kriegel's potential damage under control. In fact, I can proudly say that we have not sustained any permanent damage.
Excellent, excellent.
Actually, the crew even seems slightly happy that this happened.
Ode was successful this time. I had no doubt that he would be up to something, but, well, if it was successful, then praise the God Emperor. You know, he's, Magnus looks around at everyone. He's definitely, looking out for us. Yes, Captain, we'll be back on board, Magnus looks. Oh, actually, I wouldn't be able to. We'll be on board shortly. Could you? Yes, we'll be on board shortly.
Look forward to it.
If we find the captain without his pants, just drinking something, I'm not even gonna get mad.
After the call ends, I'll turn to the captain or I'll say to the captain at least over the comms. So you really think if I wanted to destroy the ship, that you'd be able to stop me?
The moment you say that, you just hear someone behind you.
I don't turn around. I just stand there, pretending I heard nothing.
That's what I
Saboteurs.
thought.
There's enough of them.
Okay, eventually I'll turn around and I'll just sort of look at him.
No, they just say, if you don't react, then you say, that's what I thought. And then
After
you
he says
can
that, I
see
say,
the footsteps behind you.
"Excuse me," and I'll like swing around. What are you
Oh, yeah.
thinking here?
And the minute you go to go do that, it's just saboteurs. There's enough of them. One order and they'll kill you.
There are indeed 3 servitors standing behind you, and you can also see that now walking away from you slowly is a tech adept.
Yeah, better walk away. And I like point at him.
One of the servitor grabs you by the arm and drags you over the floor.
I cast
I'm
a
gonna
sail.
actually use
Oh god.
same binary, no permanent damage.
Would you please like to roll for a sail with a -30?
Minus 30.
As you suddenly notice there's some black, stony looking material
They
on
got
the
no
arm
run.
of
Yes! Wait, I didn't know we had those.
We don't have any we can use, but the crew have access to some of them.
Oh shit, that's without the minus 30. My bad.
It passes
Still pass,
anyway,
Yeah.
God damn.
I
and he
swear to
cast it
God.
at like psi rating 4.
No, it's
One
not
of
2.
those days, I'm gonna get one of those NORADs and I'm gonna shove it up your ass.
No,
And
you won't. It's so much fun to do that.
Yeah, now the question is, will it be before or after Sarah dyes her hair neon pink?
Honestly, if we arrive and find a billion drunken people in the ship, I'm not even gonna be mad. That's actually amazing.
I imagine at one point I'll find a note that's being passed down from Inquisitor to Inquisitor, from Tech Priest to Tech Priest, and it will just say, from the bot. Just go with it.
That has to be a thing now. Oh my
Oh
god.
no, even better. It won't even be that. It'll be multiple notes from multiple people.
Yeah, there will
All
also
of them
One
that
from
hate me.
Lavat, the other from our first Inquisitor.
you mean from Sintanis? Yeah.
No,
There's-
honestly, probably that would be from Alona first, not Sintanis. Because she was working closer with us.
so from Shana. Okay.
Oh, Mishana, not Alona. Mixing
we
names.
we
We
kind of
murdered
killed
Alona.
Alona.
There probably also be a few letters about Draco that is, get your hands on a null, make set null, hold him really close in a hug,
Oh,
and he'll
wait.
pass out.
I
Who
also
are
need
all
to
these
roll
people?
damage of
Why
a
do they keep
1d5, by the
sending me
way.
messages? I just don't understand this.
More importantly, how do they have the gift of clairvoyance?
Oh yeah, and itself just pushed 1 meter away and not through.
How many kilos can you push with your psi rating you used to sail at?
If I get 3 degrees of success or more, it's 1d5.
It's 1d5 meters. Problem is, this one's like sizes, certain especially large objects such as tanks, greater demons, and titans are immune at your discretion.
I'm gonna say this one is magnetically locked, so it almost looks like it's going to tip over. It lets go of you. It almost looks like it's going to tip over, and then it just bing. It has only moved like half a meter.
Should I cast that roll damage as well, or?
Yeah. You probably won't do much damage, but you're gonna try at least do some.
That's pen 2 as well.
Yeah, it completely ignores it.
Oh. Can I take a few steps back and cast it again at a higher SAR rating, or if it tries to come back at me again?
You just hear from behind you. I would not try that again if I were you.
I would like to point out that the astropath at least knows that a psychic power has been used on board.
And we are still in our lander.
Oh, even better, because the servitor's been told no permanent damage. It's the only restriction it's been given.
So this time I'm going to cast a SAR rating 6. Do I start the minus 30 or?
Hold on.
Yes.
If someone was holding their action, so I need to quickly.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm about to die.
Assassin
quite
servitors.
possibly. But yeah, the null rod is within 2d10 meters of you. You take on minus 30 on any test to use your saving powers. And if you hit,
Duke of roll awareness.
he's getting knocked unconscious.
One sec. Oh.
Okay, that
Ouch.
means you do not. That means you do not get to dodge this attack. I am going to quickly roll that as a GM. You count as being stunned, as someone just suddenly just kicks your feet out from under you, and then just with a flat hand just slaps your the back of your head
The chirurgeon.
into the floor.
Wait, so my stunned or unconscious?
You're
You
stunned.
count as being stunned, and then there's just this mechanicus face over your head. I told you not to try that again.
Because I'm assuming the connection's still open, just once again in binary. No permanent damage. Make sure.
After I'm unstunned, can I roll heraldry to see like if I can notice any special markings on the Mechanicus?
It's one of our ship. And considering it just
Might
used
have done
takedown on you, it's
before.
probably a chirurgeon.
See, there's no point putting him in the brig or putting him in the medbay. He'll just use Gates of Infinity to get back into the bar.
Yes, but if you do it another time, he can't use the power again.
Yeah,
for
all
that
you gotta
long
do is
period of
like
time.
keep throwing him in there, and then
That's
try-
why you strap the Nora to
Yeah.
him.
Also, we strap the Nova to it, and then we put the null itself in the same room as him with a book. The null will be happy to sit right there with a book.
Nah, fuck that shit. I'm still babysitting him.
I love
I
how
know.
I love how no one actually is like, Magnus, what do
Honestly-
you think we should do? I think we should just
Honestly-
leave him be.
I mean,
Exactly. I think we should just let him have his fun. That way, at least he's happy, and he's not, trying to murder the entire
I
ship.
mean, this is totally an
doesn't-
in-character conversation of me and Felicia arguing what we
I
should
know.
do with him.
Felicia's not doing that. No, Felicia's just kind of like, no permanent damage. She doesn't care what happens so long as there's no permanent damage either way.
Hmm.
Keep in mind, her definition of permanent damage is she can't give him a replacement limb.
Yes, I suspected as much.
Magnus is just
Which
sat there
is-
sharing a low stick.
He already has bionic lungs, so...
Mm-hmm. Any case, I'm just gonna say we time skip forward until you make it back to your ship.
Sure.
I'm not bound or anything, am I? I'm finally.
You're not bound, but you just essentially during the period of time that you were stunned, everybody just moves away from you. So the servitor and the tech priest just all move away from you.
I just continue to lie there.
One
Until
of the
someone politely asks me to
party
move.
and crewmen almost just stumbles over you because he doesn't see you.
Does he say anything or does he just keep going?
He's like, sorry, I'll see you there. Want a drink?
I'll start laughing. Nah, I've got something to do. I'll do it later though, and then I'll just walk off laughing.
I don't feel so good. And the guy walks off.
Do you need to? And then as he walks off, I'm like, oh, he can take care of himself. So I'm off to go fuck with the Mechanicus, pretty much.
See, leave him be. It's much better.
He's gonna die.
I mean, like I said, it's better not to poke the bear, and he's a very powerful psyker. So
Yeah, but he's poking the other bear. You know, the one
Other
who can.
bears.
No, I'm talking about the one who can vent the ship.
and they're not gonna do that.
They'd have to ask me first.
Exactly.
You think that'd stop me? Let's face it, if it got to the point where it was like, well, Magnus is letting this guy run too far, I'm gonna lock Magnus in his room and then vent the rest of the ship.
If I teleport back in.
Ship would still kill you, because there'd be no atmosphere.
Yeah.
And we both need to teleport into the bar, where I definitely have no atmosphere.
So, how long would it take me to just walk around the Mechanicus area to find something valuable?
Look
Oh
left.
god.
Congratulations, you just found a very important power conduit.
I can already see a servitor scrubbing the floor. You run, kick him in the ass, steal his bucket, and runs away.
Poor servitor. If only he was capable of such an independent action.
Worst part is Servitor will sit there, be confused for a moment, and then just continue scrubbing the floor. Because it won't know what to do.
Well then, I guess we're all back to the ship by now.
Yes, you are.
So, what would you like me to roll to find something important, GM?
No.
Pardon?
Just start taking screws out of the servitors. That'll really piss them off.
Damn, you really want Mechanicus to go on the warpath, do you?
Ah,
Yep.
I got pair of them. I'll smooth it out.
Yeah, but the problem is, there's one of them you can't smooth it out with.
Can I just go fuck up a couple of servitors? Call it a day.
God.
He's gonna tie a rope round the legs when they're in their downtime, so when they start up, they just fall
I'll just
over.
push them over and then they'll be like, they won't be able to get up because they're on tracks or something.
Making servitors look like turtles.
He's going Servitor tipping.
Awesome.
Fuck. Why?
And they're really heavy, so it would be hard to pick them back up.
Oh no, there's a Mechanicus who's just on board for that one reason. He's got like a mechanic, the utility arm that just picks him.
You'll see the other tipped over dude like, fuck, not again.
3211 is down again. I must go.
Suddenly it happens like 12 times, as much like 12 times in like 3 hours.
Well, how about you just all meet back in your command deck?
Sure. Once
I will
Magnus
do
is on board, he'll radio to everyone, all party members, to the bridge, so we can communicate with Gregorius's ship. Captain, is Gregorius's vessel still in system?
Yes, he is, as far as I'm aware. I could check.
Excellent. If you could get the astropaths to be able to communicate with each other. And request details on his upcoming mission. And inform him we will be assisting him in a secondary task related to his primary mission.
Very well, I will send the transmission. Anything else, sir?
Prepare the ship for prepare the ship for departure. Once we have the information from Gregorius, we'll be heading into warp space. I imagine that all
Very
takes hours and hours to get ready, so...
Yeah. Very well, sir. We will start moving to the edge of the system.
Yeah, that's the big travel problem with going into the warp. A lot of the time you want to leave from the edge of the system because fucking gravity wells. Don't want to accidentally materialize inside a planet.
And then, are we carrying on, or are we going to be calling it soon? That'd be my only other question.
Okay. So, everyone, how long can you still keep going?
I've not actually got a problem this week.
Same.
Won't mind going a bit longer.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Well then, you get a message from Gregorius' ship back that says, very well, we will be delaying our departure until you are ready to join us.
Then Magnus would inform the captain to make, in all good time, to fly to the position of Gregorius' ship.
You get another Vox communique that requests if Magnus might join Gregorius on his ship.
Sure. Before Magnus leaves, he will get everyone to put some questions down in the down on the data slate, just in case there was anything they wanted to. And then he'll make his way over to Gregorius' ship.
Okay. So, anybody does write down any questions or not?
Out of character. Can't think of any at the moment.
Sarah would actually just be busy with doing the little document summary for Magnus.
Actually, it'd be things like, are we expecting heavy resistance?
Technically, we're supposed to go talk to this guy and rescue him.
Yes, but we can also be expecting heavy resistance in getting to him.
Think on what you just said. Rescue him. That would imply someone has it out for him.
Not
He's trying
necessarily.
to leave to join us.
He could, since he's the general, he could have an entire squadron with him just chilling somewhere,
Yes,
pretending to kill
there
you.
could be a general still loyal to their icons, trying to stop them.
Yeah, but how would they know? Or we know this could be a milk run.
You never planned for a
Never.
milk run.
You never say these words
You
ever
are
again.
the worst possible
No,
security.
I'm not planning for a milk run. I'm just saying, how the fuck would Gregorius know?
Technically, our last mission was a
Well,
milk run.
ask yourself this. How did Alona deceive us so long?
Also, keep in mind that they had the super spy.
Don't think that Vidair just changed his mind because he had a sudden change of heart. Oh no,
Oh, no,
he's a fucking opportunist.
I'm full intended to be a trap. That's why I'm saying is that it's a bit pointless to ask.
No, because it means we need to know, do we see a lot of stuff, or does it look like it's safe? If it looks like it's safe, well, we still prep for it's bad. If it looks like it's bad, we prep for even worse.
So the same amount of preparation for the Nutella.
Prepare the apocalypse shells.
Yeah, it's the difference between preparing all the macro cannon battery, or preparing one part of it, and then having the rest already prepared.
Macro batteries? I'm sorry.
Yes,
What type?
we have
we have
two.
We have
we
macro. Oh, no,
I
no,
was saying-
technically, no, we do have.
Also, I was saying too, because we have a psyker.
Well, I was looking at the picture of the on that we've got, and it looks like it's just got two cannons, but no, actually,
Yeah.
our ship
And
does
even
have
if-
a battery. Yeah.
If it's only one actual macro cannon, we've got a psyker. I'm pretty sure he can summon demons by accident. We just send him over.
Could we open up a gate of infinity in front of the macro cannon, and then open one up on an enemy bridge? This is brilliant.
Cheeky.
Basically, yes, it'd get us killed, Bo. And
It could be attempted.
it'd be a hell of a way to bypass the shield stuff.
Yes, it would be.
You'd have to close the
Except
portal
no,
quickly enough.
wait. Void shielding blocks psychic attacks.
Yeah,
Mm,
but there's always the method of let's go round. And this isn't a psychic attack, so it's the Gala shield you have to worry about.
Let's go around the Maginot instead of through.
No, void shield still blocks flat out psychic attacks. But if they don't have their shields up, it will bypass all the armor.
Good idea, but anyway, for another time. So yes, I've got the question about what kind of resistance, or what kind of forces will he have?
That one too. You just got another question. Because we don't know what forces we've got, unless it's literally just us.
Got an immolator tank.
Also have your 5,000 troops. The captain does also actually, before you reach Gregorius' ship, this is whilst you were all planets and Ulfthane was back on the ship. The captain does try to ask Ulfthane something. A group of soldiers from the planet requested to be stationed on board the ship. Since you are currently technically wielding our Inquisitor's authority, should we?
Wait, it's a group on the planet below that we're currently orbiting, or?
Yes, they request to be stationed as soldiers. They have the blessings of the local authorities, they claim.
They claim.
It has been confirmed.
It's
As
been
long as we
confirmed,
accept.
okay. How many? And how well equipped are they?
We have not gotten words yet about their armaments, but it would appear 100 of them.
I'll say yes. Bring them aboard, but keep them separated from our current troops, and then
Okay.
Magnus can make his mind up later. And
Okay.
then I go back to drinking in the library.
Okay, so before you leave, the captain does point to you the fact that you have 100 troops from the planet with you now, with unknown armaments, but with no numbers.
Do they have wings?
They don't know.
What do you mean they don't know? Just fucking look.
Wait, were they drilling on the party?
No, you could have asked, but that you got no response from them.
Captain, I would like you to send one of your most soberest and keenest of eye subordinates down to look at these 100 men, and if they happen to have wings sprouting out of their backs, you can tell them that I thankfully declined their offer.
Can I go as
Okay.
well? Just to have a little bit of an investigation. I seem quite interested in this. As if I've forgotten something.
It turns out these people do not have wings, but they are about of the same caliber of guards that you met on the planet below that accompany you in the elevator. So larger than your average man, wearing power armor, but instead of these spear-like things, they got bolters, and their power armor is a lot less ornate.
I just heard the magic two words, bolters and power armor. Well,
I'll go up to the captain, shake his hand, and say, "Welcome aboard."
We allow 100. Yes. Segregate them as much as possible,
That has already been done.
or at
They
least
have-
tell
I
them
already
not
did that. I
to,
told the captain to.
not to speak of their home world at the very least.
I'll tell him now.
And yes, the one that is in command of these troops does indeed claim he holds the rank of captain. So that is a military captain, not ship captain. So
Ask him if him and his men would like to unburden their souls. And then if he seems confused, I'll just say, "Have a night out. Go drinking."
the captain, right? No, Johnson would just get all the girls anyway.
Ah.
Wouldn't be fair to us or to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, I just like to drink. Whatever, let's do it anyway. Come on, it'll be fun, even if.
We respectfully decline, sir.
I respectfully ask you to reconsider.
They already hang up.
Ah. Wait, I'm face to face with them.
They still
I
hang
shook
up.
his hand.
I was gonna say, yeah, they hang up because a servitor walks in front of you.
Hold on, we're losing reception.
He just starts making like static noises.
I know,
Suddenly there's like a procession of servitors.
I know, the servitors are making the static noises.
Yes, you get distracted by the servitors, and then when you look back to the dude, he's already 50 meters away and just walking faster.
I'll just microbeat to Magnus saying, "What's wrong with these guys? They just don't seem like normal people."
And if he gets followed, the servitors were programmed to do that once as revenge for whatever Ulftain did to screw with the Mechanicus.
Yeah.
All I did was just go servitor to tip
And
him.
if Magnus does come up at it, it is literally it's only the harmless revenge. We're not doing it again.
Old man, they're a special breed of humans, I guess. I wouldn't go poking around too much there. Just don't ask questions. Just Magnus kind of shakes his head and Yeah, just don't ask questions. Am
Am I still within range of him? Within like maybe 40 meters?
He's
Oh,
50
God
meters
damn
away.
it.
He is already out of range. He just he fucking ran. Like no, I would tell this dude
50.
I'm running.
Can I cast Mind Link at Star rating 5?
Oh, God.
For fuck's sake.
I'm just curious, man.
Stop, please.
We're gonna get murdered.
They might have secrets. They might try
I'm
and
just
kill
gonna
us.
say that instead of meeting face to face, you did actually have a Vox communicate, and he hung up.
Ah, goddamn.
You've got
This is some chitsy retcon.
But Duca, if you do read his mind, he will legitimately kill you, and then kill the rest of us. Because Magnus will have to try and defend you, and then we'll jump into the dark pile, and we'll all die.
I find your lack of faith.
I don't know. The guard has a saying, you know, quality has its charm, but quantity has a charm of its own. And I've got 5,000 men. They've got 100.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say, when in doubt, throw more men at it, but
I mean, at least 200 of them are drunk.
And I've got an immolator
Those
tank.
are laborers, not soldiers.
Do you not think it didn't spill over into the soldiers?
Ah, it's
I
fine.
mean,
The
let's be
soldiers
honest.
the soldiers wouldn't get drunk enough.
Let's be honest, we have someone who can just vent the ship.
It's fine.
Okay. Let's continue. If you want, you can just if you want now, essentially from the people in your ship that are allowed to be included in like meetings, are like your second in command, chief of security, your captain, your navigator, your astropath. The diplomat is no longer on your ship. Neither are his guards. But now instead of him, you can call up the yeah, you can call in the captain of planetary forces. Or you can just call him captain of the power armor dude or captain of just the captain. But not the captain.
Illegible.
It's literally just different methods of calling him the captain of whatever.
Yeah.
You could literally call him the captain of whatever, because we don't care enough to know the name of the planet.
Captain of whatever. Perfect.
Yes.
Provided you never call him it to his face. In all fairness, though, he'd probably
Our,
contradict
over
the
the-
opposite.
our regiment is indeed called whatever. How did you know?
Can you
Gut feeling.
can you get me Captain Dick Pics, please? I'd very much like to see him.
We are
Opposite.
calling him that.
Oh my god, they actually are dick pics.
We are not calling him that.
I'm gonna start calling him dick pics in character.
Captain,
Yeah,
what's his face?
yeah. Then again, Duke, you have the full right to, because in a Stellaris game you're called the Dix Devourers. So.
No. Why? Bleed over. Focus.
Yes,
Anyway.
let's focus back. Yeah, he gets called up to the command deck. He is in full power armor and he has his bolter at his side.
Sure.
He also has a chainsaw with him. It's on his other side. You wish to speak with me?
Wait, how does he react to being called dick pics by Magnus?
I assume that was not actually called.
No.
Ah,
Yes. I believe it would be best if I had a chance to meet you.
Alright then. Pardon my manners. Captain Marcus of the Alazaro 4 Special Planetary Defense Force.
Okay. So, first things first. The stuff that's going on your world is not normal. I saw men flying in power armor. Have you seen this?
He doesn't have his helmet on. He looks slightly puzzled and is like, "Oh, wait. Do you mean the Spire Guard?"
Yes, yes, we were high up. They were guarding the spire.
As far as I am aware, those aren't actually wings. Those are ornate armor pieces. They have jetpacks. As far as I am told, sir.
Still not normal. Still not normal.
Looks fancy as hell.
Matter of opinion. Please don't go talking about the fineries of your world, and try and keep that within your circle of elites. I will be asking all my soldiers to do joint drills whenever possible. I hope you can put up with the other guardsmen aboard the ship.
We will attempt our best, sir.
And if the old man tries to get you all drunk, only when imminent danger is not around.
It takes quite a while for us to get drunk. I am certain that probably Bjorn would drink him under the table and yeah. We'll just send Bjorn to deal with that.
Just keep it to once in a solar flare. Once, every now and then a rare occurrence. That's fine. Just go along with it. Just not when we're being deployed or anything like that. He should know the score, but he gets carried away.
Of course not, sir.
And apart from that, by all means, you may want to... actually, GM, are we sitting down for the War Council, or is this just before Magnus is leaving to go to Gregorius' ship?
This is before you're leaving. You can request that he comes with you if you want. No,
that's fine. Magnus will go over. Magnus will go over by himself.
Okay then, very well, sir. The Sons of Electo stand ready to serve you.
Carry on, soldiers.
With that, he marches off. You also notice all the power armor essentially on both sides, like both pauldrons. Essentially, their sigil is just an Aquila. Okay, so you go over to Gregorius' ship. Very well. Magnus. Oh, I thought you'd bring people with you. Anyways, this is fine too. Let us go to my War Council room.
But of course, Gregorius, lead the way.
Would you like to go back to your ship before departure, or?
Yes, I'll be going back to my ship. Whilst we will be working in the same area, unfortunately, our tasks will be slightly different.
Very well. Please follow me then. Essentially you take a vehicle up. It's again ships 40k. They are large. You take vehicles to some places. Vehicles, some elevators, and you eventually get to the War Council room with Gregorius' ship captain and essentially his military commanders of his ship's troop complement. Everyone needed this. This is my former acolyte, now Inquisitor Bloodstone. They all respectfully nod their head.
Magnus does the same back.
Please have a seat.
Magnus takes a seat.
Do you, just for sheer nostalgia's sake, take your old seat at this table?
Yeah, if that seat's open, available,
It's
then
open.
yes.
Well then, Magnus, I assume you have some questions or something to tell us about what your mission is?
Yes, firstly, I would very much appreciate the information about which system you'll be operating in, and just what your battle plan will be, in its briefest breakdown, of course. As for myself, I have been tasked with recovering a person of interest for the Lord Inquisitor. This person happens to be either the current or the former general of the Rykone army. Apparently, he feels it necessary to change his alliances, and we've been tasked to withdraw him from his current position.
So one of those heretics seeks the Emperor's forgiveness then?
Apparently so.
And what does he go by?
Vidaire.
I had a good feeling that would be it. Our intelligence operatives have recently been tracking his movements, and he has recently made a quite uncharacteristic move where instead of staying inside the main Rykone Armada or one of the main strongholds, he has recently personally moved to the oversight of a small lunar base that we will be assaulting. I take it you're supposed to extract him from that.
Well, Magnus kind of has this look on his face of, well, now I do. Yes, it appears as if that is where we will be extracting him from.
Very well then. Might I ask what your troop complement is in case we require them for further ground assault reinforcements?
I'm afraid I only have, out of the 5,000 men, how many of them are they just guardsmen, or are they just serfs, enlisted?
The amount of guardsmen, you have about 26,000 people in total in your ship, of which now 5,000 is basically standard troopers. They're basically guardsmen, and now also you have 100 elite shock troopers, essentially.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure my notes were right. So yeah, we have about 5,000 guardsmen. Don't know how tested they are, though. We do have 100 shock troops, which again I have not personally seen their battle prowess. However, their equipment and their name leads me to think they should be.
Those shock troops, did they happen to come from the planet?
Yes.
Well, in that case, we have a complement of those ourselves as well. 100 men exactly. And they call themselves the Sons of Electo.
Yes, ditto on that fact. And I, for some odd reason, have a gift from the Sisters Sororitas. One immolator tank.
That is a useful tactical tool. I suppose you still have the old complement of last cannon armed sentinel walkers that I left in your ship.
Yes, I should imagine if you left them there. Magnus looks down at his data slate, and it seems
Yes,
I'll have to have a word with
They appear on the data slate. You
Okay.
have those still.
Yes, that was. I was not aware that was your gift, though. You caught me at quite a disadvantage.
Not quite so much as a gift as well. They weren't heretical, so I left them there.
But I can assure you that many an officer or general, or hell, most people would not have left them there, so you have my thanks.
Well, as far as we know, this lunar base has the moon in question actually has a breathable atmosphere, so that will not be an issue. Furthermore, the base does have upward-facing void shields, but it appears to be slightly less defended in case of a ground assault. We have partial reason, and with the fact that you have confirmed you are supposed to get Vadir out of there, that might have been sabotage or intentional oversight on whoever is running the base.
So, can I roll Imperial Guard Law
Yes.
to try and see if there's, like, tactically this is all horrendous, and your commanders would realise that this is all horrendous?
Yes.
Meh, oh well.
It's still prepared fortresses of sorts, as if literally somebody has been screwing up the command staff, everything.
I have a horrible feeling that this is all just one big meat grinder we're walking into. How are their commanders not noticing this incompetence?
As far as our infiltration expert has told us, apparently Lord Vadir has a bit of a habit of getting rid of what he deems to be incompetent underlings. It would appear that he has personally taken over command of the base.
Salvatore doesn't, or didn't, seem to be the type of man who would let this kind of incompetence go unnoticed.
That is exactly what my feelings is about the situation, but who knows? In any case, Vadir does not want to come willingly. We did have our orders to try and capture him regardless.
Do we know anything about their forces on this base? Like what kind of implements do they have? Like, can we get flyers in, or will they get shot out of the sky?
The fortress does have anti-air flak weaponry. It also has several ground-based cannons in its walls to aid in defense against ground-based assaults. As far as we know of numbers of troops, they have around 2,000 standard issue Rykone guardsmen, as well as a small elite corps of 500 stormtroopers, as they refer to them. On top of that, apparently Vadir's personal guard.
I do not think it's wise to presume that his personal guard will aid us in the upcoming battle. I found that highly unlikely. Well, in a matter, when it comes down to numbers, we've got it on them, but
We will be aided by several local Imperial Guard regiments. I believe the Penuvian 2nd, Cadian 150th, and sir, you're missing one. The captain of the ship slides over another one to course. Oh, and are you sure? It wasn't a report, sir. First time I'm seeing it. Apparently, a small group of 500 Elysian drop troopers. Combined with the forces on my ship and your ship, as well as whatever those sons of Electo can do, I think we stand a reasonable chance, even if the base does not get sabotaged from the inside. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
How exactly are we going to get him out? Now, we can't go in. Well, in my mind, we have two options. We take the fortress, an all-out assault. And if he survives, at the end, we pull him out. Or, and this is the bit I'm concerned about, I think this is my orders. We go into the fortress before the assault to acquire Vidaire.
We are both Inquisitors, Magnus. We have autonomy in how we wish to do things. I will leave that up to you. Now, shall we go spin up the warp drives?
Yes, I will. If you can have your captain, and Magnus gestures, to send over the information, I will return to my ship and talk things over with my crew and decide which is the best course of action. I do believe, however, that if we decide to go in quietly, I will give you complete control over my forces, and you can use them as you see fit.
Very well, Magnus. In that case, let's get moving.
Very well. Magnus stands. Thank you all for your time, and Gregorius, it is always a pleasure.
Okay then. And as Magnus travels back to his ship, this is where we'll end the session.
Thank you.
Everybody gets 250 XP as per usual.
And thanks everyone for stopping by and checking out the stream. I hope you enjoyed. So,
Please throw all your theories at me. I would love to giggle at them.
take care everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.
Bye bye.